Good morning, traders. Who's ready to trade? I know I am. Let's get this thing started. Boom, baby.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas law, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher.
Joy.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
What's going on, traders? It's good to be back in the office, ready to get at this market. I got some trades to be looking at today. A lot of action going on, all based upon, of course, that kind of nickel movement and a bunch going on. Biden talking about we're going to pull off from Russia oil. We'll find out about that. That's at 10:45. We'll actually be streaming that right here on Benzinga, so don't miss that. Also, maybe you catch that while you're doing the trading with us. Let's bring in the boys now. Ryan and Zunaid, what's going on, guys?
Well, first of all, Mitch, I got to say, you are not excited at all today. So I'm going to need you to ramp up your excitement level because it's just not there today. I'm not used to that.
Let's just say I had my Snickers.
Second of all, I'd like a little elaboration on why you didn't quite make it back. From what I understand, you were at a Denver hotel, so you actually made it into Colorado. I heard a rumor, say it ain't so. Say it ain't true. So I would like to hear what kept you away from your desk yesterday.
Yeah, man. It was I was actually impressed because I was in Fort Lauderdale and all I see is on the weather report, I'm like 4 to 6 inches. Man, am I even going to be able to land? Like, how does this work? So I'm just like, I just go to the airport, I just go to the flight attendant. I'm like, we're still on time? Like, we're going to land? Like, they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. We're all good. But when I land in Denver, you have literally like no visibility. Like in a vehicle, you probably could see maybe about 20 feet away. After that, all you see is white. The snow is kind of blowing on over to the streets, and when you go on to the trail from Denver to Colorado Springs, there's a big open area where you literally just get all the snow to just blow on over onto the highway. So I didn't make the fiance drive to pick me up, so I stayed in Denver for the night, and then she got me in the morning, came back home, and I'll tell you what. It literally just the window of her picking me up and me coming back. If I would have waited like another hour or two, it probably would have been the same thing. So you guys over there on the east side, get ready for some snow because I think it's coming.
All right. Well, all jokes aside, I'm glad you made it back safe. I'm glad everything's ready to go.
Sometimes it's better to be safe than worry about driving in kind of dangerous environments.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this out here. One of the things that I heard from a little birdie was that your fiance just didn't want to pick you up. That's what I heard.
mean,
just saying what I heard.
If that was the truth, I mean, maybe I at least got over through my a little hangover action. So, hey, let's keep it going. Let's get into the market. Let's start making some money. All right, what do you guys got?
I'll go first here. Let's see. Let me bring up the big ones here. One of the stocks that I was playing yesterday was CEI. We're just going to get this out of the way. You can see I talked about it yesterday in terms of having to break $1 and then come back and test $1. And so you can see the dollar is, where is it? Right over here. So you can see that it broke it, came back, tested it a bunch of time, did not break, and then we enjoyed the ride up. I wish I got all the way to 50 cents. I didn't. I got out around 20 and 30 cents. But going to keep an eye on this to see that if for some reason it does come back to test $1 or so, I will keep an eye on it. And I'll go ahead and set that right there. And of course, definitely going to keep an eye on OXY as well. It almost touched $50 and 51 where my alert is. It hasn't quite yet. I'm going to keep an eye on this one and see how it behaves around 55. As you can see, right around here, you had resistance, which then became exact support. You can see how lovely that works, and it acted as support right over there as well. BBBY broke 20. By the way, yesterday we mentioned Spencer was hanging out with us, I think, as well. And I mentioned, hey, that $20 balance is going to be amazing to play. And you can see it hit 20 and it had to come back up for $2, and it came back down later on and broke 20, and then after that it reclaimed it. So going to keep an eye on it, see how it behaves around 19, since that's where the ultimate support was on BBBY.
She was a triple B yesterday. Let's just say that.
Yeah, definitely took some money, no question about it. Keep an eye on SPY here. 420 is already broken. You can see 418 in the after hours was a key level there, so I'm going to keep an eye on that as well. I believe Tesla broke 800. We'll see how it behaves around 790. But that's all I got today. I'm going to try to play some small caps like BRN. Ryan and I talked about it yesterday on Stock. I'm going to try to see how this one ends up doing. I'm already out of it because I don't swing these type of plays, but $5 and $5. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take a little bit of it. But BRN with oil and all that news, I believe this is going to be in there. I'm excited to see what nickel plays you have, and Ryan may have as well. Trying to get into a little bit more of that small cap game, and I apologize for my camera being like I'm in a tilted house. It's just a broken screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's freaking out my OCD, that the whole camera being crooked thing. But so yesterday was crazy. There were an absolute ton of small cap plays. Really exciting to see. And what's crazy is that a lot of the ones that were in play yesterday are back in play today. So I've got a bunch for you. In fact, one of them here.
Get into it.
Yep, USEG. This is actually already hitting my scanner. By the way, if you guys didn't know, the scanner does work in the pre-market.
All right, circling one for Ryan. Let's go. What else you got?
So USEG, this thing was in play yesterday, gave us some great trades. It looks like it's going to be in play again. CEI, which
okay, circling two.
So we don't need to spend more time on that. I made a list here. SDPI. I mix this one up all the time. Sometimes I'm going to call this SPDI. Know what I mean? This one was yesterday. This is going to be back in it. USWS. This one was wild. This is already having a monster pre-market. CELP is another one. Cypress Environmental. This is having a pretty crazy day. Let me make sure I got them all. One more here. SPI Energy. So a lot of the things with energy exposure in the energy sector, whether they're small caps or not, pretenders or not, they're moving around. These all came off a relative volume scanner yesterday, all of them. And they are already back in play this morning. So I'm going to focus on this. Is there
anyone that is in top forefront for you? Maybe based
no.
off daily charts.
Okay, so that's actually a really good question. You know what? Yes, I'll say this. I'll say the one that's probably at the forefront here is going to be USWS because it's traded. It's made such a crazy move, and it's traded on a lot of volume here this morning. I also shout out to 9 here.
There you go.
Went crazy yesterday. This is absolutely going to be in play today. But I started with the list of stocks that were in play during the market yesterday. I actually didn't trade 9. It came on the scanner in the afternoon, but I ended up not trading this, so I don't have as much of a grasp on this one. But Mitch, to formally answer your question, all of this is going to be based on the volume flow today. So if I give you one this morning, that might change right at the open when some of that volume pours in. So these are going to be the names that I'm watching. We're going to watch for relative volume. We're going to watch for the level 2 for any type of break or any type of seller wall. And then we're going to try and scalp these puppies.
Yeah, definitely. I think those are really great ones you're giving there, Ryan. Just to kind of mention, at least that I have like 7 of those that you mentioned, and I was going through and making a list yesterday for Money Mitch. Okay. So that just goes to show you, right, guys, why it's going to be on radars. And I think that's really the important thing. Also, when you make a watch list or something like this, and then you see Ryan or I or maybe Zunaid talk about it, maybe you put a little circle. Be like, okay, there's someone else looking at this also. It's not just my eyes. And that's why I started circling the ones that Ryan just wrote, just went through, because that can give me a little bit more conviction. Hey, I'm not the only one seeing this. Let me at least pay attention to these tickers. All right, I'm going to go through some of the other ones. I'm going to really quickly go through some of these because, I mean, we don't have all day to kind of go through them all. I have a lot of tickers, so I'm just going to run through these. If there's any ticker that you want me to stop and kind of go over in more in depth, let me know in the chat, and I'll go ahead and do so. So first one up I'm going to give, guys, is some solar plays to keep on watch today. I really do think that you're going to start seeing a move in solar. Why do I feel this way? Is a lot of it is based off of a headline. last week there was a headline that the EU was considering on how to reduce dependence on Russia, and a lot of that was going to be focused on what renewable energy. And so I think you're going to start seeing what faster and faster push to try to get to that renewable energy, because everyone's starting to notice what the dependence on oil and further the dependence on Russian oil. So I think you're going to start seeing kind of investments coming into solar. So this is why I'm calling out this story. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen today, but you guys know how I love to find the stories and find them early. I say you keep on watch solar, because if you get a headline, a big headline out of the EU about renewable energy, I think you could see solar just take on off. And the next thing you know, you're looking for the trade instead of being a little bit early. So I'm not saying that I'm going to be taking positions just yet, but I will tell you that these stocks made great moves yesterday, has a good outlook going into this week. They're supposed to release that report on how they're going to get that dependency away from Russia. And a lot of that, I feel, will be based on renewable energies. So keep the solar plays on watch. What are some of these names? EMPH, SOL. The reason I like SOL is that you got a clear resistance right above it at 650s. This could push towards 650s, then catch a VWAP bounce and make a day two move, bullish engulfing move towards, let's say, 732s. I don't expect a monster move out of this one, but I will be looking at this one. SPI, one that's also Ryan mentioned. And then, of course, in solar, you can take a look at some other names like Beam. Even MaxN is one that I would say don't forget about it. It has a good resistance right above it at 1184s. I'm going to be looking for a push through 12. Let's keep going towards the strong sectors right now are what? There's only two really, utilities and energy. These are the only ones I have pointing towards the upside on daily looks. So I'm going to be looking, of course, at some of these. And the utilities, Duke, taking a monster rip here in the last week or so. If you look here, we really, in the last week, we're already up about 7%. That's a pretty good move for a regulated electric stock here. We're going to look to see if these can continue. POR is another one that I'd give you guys to keep on watch. Look how that put in a nice candle yesterday. And yesterday we kind of got like an inside day. This could get breakout above 54 today. I'd keep this one on watch. And just to give something else, one that I had given that is a kind of a bank favorite, like ratings and stuff, is always this NEE. I was talking about it back here on February 4th, but as you can see, it's already started to go, and that's NextEra Energy. I'll give one more in the utilities, is a little bit different one, is a water play. You guys can look at CWCO. Look at that candle that it put in yesterday. That was a pretty strong, significant candle. I'd keep this on watch. This is regulated water. Could pull back today towards 1050 and 1030s, and then eventually break out through 11. Another one to keep in that same area is AWK. So if you wanted to watch some other water players, you can watch AWK, and also I forgot about the other one. I'll get the other one in a little bit later. Now let's go towards those energy types of plays that you were mentioning. I have a couple other ones, of course, like GBR, New Concepts Energy. One of the things that you can clearly see is the amount of volume that came in this stock here on Monday. And now we're going to look to see what continues. Look at the volume, how this is changing. You're going to see a lot of these types of squeeze looks out there. Of course, MPP. IMPP has been a monster move. We'll see if that one can continue today. But another one, HUSA, also mentioned in the chat. I'm going to keep that one on watch, that Houston. There's so many here, guys. I'm going to keep going through some other ones that you guys can watch. BORR, Bore Drilling Limited. Look how this is looking. I love the way this is looking up. You do have a resistance that's coming into play. But after that, the next move on up is towards, let's say, 6. So right now we're underneath 4. Could look for a nice push out above 4, and that's BORR. Going to keep going. HP, another one. Oil and gas drilling is what we're looking at right now. Look how the strength has been in here. And why this is happening is because they're going to need to do some more drilling to kind of get from this oil kind of shortage that we're having. That's why you're seeing these stocks kind of rocket. SBR is another one. There's so many here, guys, that are looking really strong. I definitely keep these on watch. And for gold, guys, I found a laggard type of trade. So look at AGI. AGI feels like it just started moving. It has been going up uptrending, but I don't think it's really taking off. And then you saw higher volumes on the last 2 days. So increased volume on AGI will give me a laggard type of play in gold. I'll see if this one pulls back to, let's say, 8 and then takes out the 825s on the upside move. Last one I'm going to give is looking for shorts. Looking for shorts in DKS. I'm going to look for short this Dick's Sporting Good. It does have a resistance right above it around 105. I'm looking for a 105 rejection. So you can see here, you see what? 1 wick, 2 wick. I'm going to look for that third rejection and then boom, right back down to support. We'll see if we get to short Dick's Sporting Goods today. That's going to be it, at least from stocks that I have. Now let's go to stocks that you guys have out there. And of course, keep on watch some of these other ones like there's PLD in the REIT kind of game. I think this could also be a short. There's so many shorts that you guys can be looking at. So if you guys are not shorts traders and maybe you just want to start learning, maybe you just start dipping your toes and understanding how I could attack these setups, because I think in this year, you're going to definitely have to learn a little bit other than just longs. But that's always up to you to determine what's best for your investments. Let's go. Let's get at the stocks from the chat. I did see 9 has earnings after the close, so definitely keep that one on radar. What else is being mentioned? Sun W, Solar Play by Chris Wood. We'll definitely keep that one on watch. Tesla, Jude talking about it. Maybe Zunaid takes a look at Tesla. What do you think about Tesla's chart, Zunaid?
I can check out Tesla. By the way, 9 has already reported, I believe this morning is when they
Boom,
reported
Zunaid,
theirs.
let us know. There you go.
Yeah, someone was talking about that in the chat earlier. Let's see. Let's take a look at Tesla here. We mentioned Tesla already. It was already talking about how it was around $800 bucks, but it looks like 890 is where it kind of found a little bit of support yesterday, or I guess exactly around 893. I'm not sorry. Yeah, I always do this.
It dipped under 800. Yeah, barely.
It did.
There.
Yeah, I always do that. My apologies. You've got. I'll be honest. I typically, where's the camera? It's here this time. I typically don't play Tesla unless it's a Thursday or Friday, just because the contracts are out of the price range that I usually like. For me, you can possibly have it test a pre-market high, which is around 820 or so. And then if it rejects off of that, I think you have a safe bet to try to short it and try to take your profits around 805 and see if you can get a little bit of move from there. But I'll be honest, I don't exactly have the best read on Tesla. Let's see what the 65-minute looks like. You can see, we talked about that 795. Bounced once already, bounced twice already, almost a second time, or almost a third time. It just didn't get that opportunity on Tesla. You can also obviously check out Lucid. On the other side of that, you can see $22 has actually held as support pretty well. So if you want to play EV and you believe, hey, Lucid is going to go off of the Tesla move, you can buy these, because these contracts can be much, much cheaper, and then obviously can have a nice move as well.
One more thing that I'll be watching today. If you're not into playing small caps or anything like that, one of the things that I like to play are some of these ETFs, especially the levered ETFs. So SOXL, this is one that I keep a watch on. This is obviously the bull levered semiconductor ETF. This thing has been incredibly beaten down, as you can imagine, recently. But if we get any type of good news or any type of ceasefire or anything like that, I suspect this actually shoots up. This was down 15%. Look at the chart from yesterday. Look at this intraday chart from yesterday. This was down 16% yesterday. I took a little bit in the after hours for a bounce. It appeared I got a little lucky, right? Because after I took it, it actually traded lower in the after hour session yesterday. This morning, I got out right at $30 even. So right near where it is now. Left a little bit on the table. But these make great day trading vehicles, right? They're liquid. You can get in and out of them. They're fairly easy to trade. I don't even mess with the options. I just trade the actual stock itself. Pretty easy to do. So we'll be watching that if you want to trade with the general market. I'm going to have more opportunity, more outsized opportunity in some of these small cap names.
I've got one more if you want to swing it my way here.
Let's do it.
AMD. We always talk about the psychological numbers. Let's talk about an AMD. How many times did 100 play a support level? Once?
I'm
twice,
looking below that
3,
level.
4, and then you've got a break right over here where it came on down to about $99. So typically when I trade these, my risk off is about $1, and then I can go ahead and try to scale out from there. So it's not like, we always say support and resistance is not exactly a number. It's an area, right? You can see that $100 area. You can see it kind of poke below, but it held it, didn't break your stop loss, which could be $1 if you want it. And then you obviously want to get more out of that. You can see that it almost went ahead and tested 100 yesterday. It did go ahead and bounce around 101. You can see my alerts already there. So I'm going to keep an eye on AMD as well.
All right. One thing I want to point out on that AMD, if you are a short type of trader, if you look at AMD here, every single time for the last 3 days, it's done a VWAP fade. So that's a hard move down out the gates, back to VWAP, bouncing off of that back towards the downside and taking out the lows. If you look at the last 3 days, that's the exact pattern you see. So look for that pattern to change. Look for it maybe to test that VWAP and spike above, or look for the pattern to continue. That's what I'd be looking in AMD. So in my case, this would be like a push up there towards this high that you see in the pre-market 103s. And then what do you see? It coming back down to VWAP and then squeezing through that VWAP above 105s. That's the way I've traded for the upside. But I did see those VWAP fades on AMD, so I wanted to point that out. 3 days in a row, perfect VWAP fades. And so we'll see what happens on that. I think that's going to do a lot to do with, honestly, I think tech, and this is why I'm focusing. I think tech is going to still leak a little bit into next week's Fed meeting. I'm paying attention towards that. I have this feeling that you're going to see a little bit of a change in the Fed, especially because everything that's been going on. But of course, this is all speculation, so we'll see what happens in tech. I'm going to go ahead and go to one more area before we get towards the bell. Bell's right there. Food distribution, farm products is what I'm trying to point out. AAPH was one, APPH was one yesterday that moved. Yep. Also Benson Hill, which is BHIL. Want to make sure I get those out there. To me, this is inflationary trade. I'm going to be looking at Benson Hill right out the gates. I think it's a stronger one than APPH. That's a newer SPAC type of play, but we'll see if these can get moving today. And let's get after it, guys. Let's do this. Of course, leading the day, energy spiking on up, guys. Look at those stocks just spiking. Already you got stocks like 9 up 96%, guys. We'll see how it happens on 9. It's already ripping. USWS pulled back a little bit there towards the VWAP at 3. Could look for a potential bounce at 3, but I'd look for a little bit move below that. Let's see if we get a 273 test. USEG also strong. They ripped right before the gates there, so just be careful.
Real quick, long LLNW on a 450 break. LLNW. This is going to be a quick trade, just a scalp. So don't chase.
Boom, boom. Let's do this, guys.
All right, took it there. So little scalp there to start the day.
There you go.
Basically, so just because that was such a quick trade, let me just go over the process here real quick.
Go ahead.
Right out of the gate, you could see that there was interest in this. It pushed right up into a support region, into a resistance area with a whole bunch of sellers on the level 2. As soon as it reached that point, the price didn't back off of it at all. They actually kept chipping away at that. And as they started to take it down, I grabbed some and followed them in. Stock pushed up. At a time right after it pushed up, it looks like it was kind of teetering there. So as to not want to give my profits back, I just took it. Now it is going higher here, so there might be another opportunity for this set up for later in the day. But getting a little green on the screen right there, that's how we're going to go ahead and start. That's going to give me a little bit more confidence throughout the rest of the day.
Hey, there's that pop above. You got 464 highs on that now.
Yep. And so I was out I think at 458 right there. So I only went for 8 cents. This actually went 14 cents from the break, which again was at 450. So maybe there's still some more, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with leaving a little bit more on the bone. I'm going to have more
100%.
Opportunities today. It is literally 2 minutes after the bell.
Absolutely.
Damn it. Hesitated there on DKS. There's like literally milliseconds wanted to get short there at 102.50s. And it's already down there. It touched there 150. That would have been a nice, literally right out the gates there. Kind of get short on it. I'll see if I could get it here. I'm looking for pullbacks. Also looking for BTU to pull back for a long. We'll see if we get this. But there's definitely some movement out there. A bunch of stocks moving. You guys got a big mover? Throw it up in the chat. It's annoying. I don't want to get in shorting here because I'm definitely just starting to get extended if I get into here. So I got to wait for another bounce there. We'll see if we get it. If not, I'm looking for DKS that I think it's going to wash out here. There it is. This is what I wanted to get short off the VWAP here, right off this 102.50 when it broke the support right here. I hesitated for a second, and it looks like I'm going to be missing the trade there. So
MARPS halted. Sounds like Husa is halted.
Already down there to 99.50s. Ha. That was one that I definitely wanted. It's a little annoying. Gotta let it go.
All right, so some of these high flyers from yesterday halted.
I'm not seeing anything I like. There's Tesla. I mean, it's well below 800 down.
Tesla, I think, is a good short. Red cat bounces in that. I'd look for a VWAP short up there towards 798. If it gets back to VWAP, I'd be looking for a short on Tesla. BTU starting to get some volume right now. I'm looking for potentially a scalp above 22. But I was looking for a deeper pullback towards 2160 or 2150s. So let's see if that can cool back here towards around this level around here, the 2160 level. That's what I'm looking for because we're up way too high on the top of the range. At least for me, I could only play a scalp up here. I wouldn't want to play a longer type of play. I'd look for a quick momentum. But let's see what happens if we get that pullback or not. X is one definitely to keep on watch today. Let's take a look here. Now it's starting to get back towards VWAP. Was weak yesterday. Going to take a look here at X to see if we can get a little push. Yeah, I do like this trade here.
Let's see. That's XY.
Long there. Long X, 24s. Long the 24s here is going to be off of 30.15s, guys. So about 10-cent risk there. Already up there to 30.40s there. Looking great for us here.
Nice shout. Nice shout by Booglaw.
So half above 30.50.
On Glop. Glop went up to 430. This is yesterday. Didn't have the volume for a trade, but this is moving. Good shout there.
All right, just sold half of it there at 54s, guys. Great trade there. Boom. Let's go. Let's go. Going to sell the rest of it above at 30.70s here.
All right, real quick, if you want to throw my screen up, I've got, or I'll just tell the folks, I've bought some equity into OXY. Went ahead and got filled at $55.15. My stop loss will be at the break of 54.50. The reason I got in, you can see 55 was resistance, acted as support. I'm looking for a bounce maybe towards about 55.80, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and sell it. So let me go ahead and kind of get my profit targets and all that ready to go.
Lindsay letting me know Tesla coming back there. Let me see if I can grab it.
Yeah, it's about $6 away from 800.
Already missed that 798. That's literally the level I would have got. Good call out, Lindsay. Appreciate you calling it out. Looked great for the VWAP short there. All right, guys. X is coming right back to my number here. Might actually add and then look for it to come right back on up, but you got to be really tight here. Just added my shares right back. Holding towards 30.15 here.
Still looking around here, folks.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
You know what I'm seeing here is a lot of these charts are going, and I don't want to chase. That's why I was able to hit LLNW because it didn't go yet.
Out
Yeah.
X. So win there and then a loss there. Can't be mad though. I took a good win there. Still in the green there for the day. Tesla looked like a great short there. I don't know if anybody got that. That looked beautiful. That's where I wanted to get short, literally right up here. We'll see what happens on it now.
OXY might get stopped out here in about 10 cents or so. We were up about $30 on the trade. Now we might lose about 60.
Look at BTU, guys. Oh, good Lord. Missed my entry around for 10 cents. I looked at 2160s and went to 2170s. Pushed up there towards 2250s. Looking strong there. Looks like Cole's making a move there. BTU.
And OEG really going too.
Silver taking off today, guys. So PAAS, you guys can look at EXK. This one looks strong today, so definitely AG also in play. This has been looking really good, guys. So it looks like silver taking off today.
You've got 9 halted, and I've stopped out of my OXY trade down about $75 on TradeStation. 9 halted, it looks like at 745.
9's halted. USEG, Webcoin is saying that's halted. That is correct. USEG halted. So a lot of wild stuff going. Load on the scanner here. Watching ticker load. Lima, Oscar, Delta, Echo. 194 was the first spot. It took that out. I think 204 is the next spot. 210, your pre-market high. Had some early volume, but needs more volume here. Not in it, by the way. Not in it yet. I imagine this is what a dog feels like when chasing a moving car as I chase away. Zen
Yeah, everything has just been moved.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what you got to fight, right? That's what discipline is. You don't want to, if you start chasing all of these things, there's a chance they pull back in your face.
All right, looking at CWO here. Not lagging a little bit there.
By the way, does anyone know if a Stream Deck would work as a hotkey in TradingView?
Only one way to find out. Zunaid hotkeyed in there, baby.
I don't know. Does TradingView
You're
have
not
coding?
wrong. You're
Does
not wrong.
Do they have coding hotkeys? I don't use TradingView.
I have no idea, but I know that they have obviously like hotkeys, and I just wonder if Stream Deck is hooked up. If I click it, if it recognizes it, you know.
Well, if they have hotkey coding on the platform, you should be able to set up the Stream Deck for it. You just need to make sure that the program can accept coding.
Gotcha. I'll have to play around with it.
Yeah, like I have certain ones that can and certain ones that can't. Like they have like, let's say, their own preset hotkeys, and there's some that actually allow you to code it. Like, you know, like let's say L2 plus 3. That's what I have for like my hotkey entrance is limit plus 3, and it'll pull the recent number off the level 2 and use that plus 3 versus a selected number. So
gotcha.
Things like that. You got to code it into it. So it just depends on your platform.
Good shouts in the chat right here. DWAC absolutely tanking.
Lindsay on fire today. Lindsay, I know you're kind of newer to the stream. I probably haven't seen you that often in here. Good call outs.
And also BMW from BNZB and whatever. God, I can never get it right. Why
BNZB
confidence in your name? VMware also just kind of selling off out of the gate here.
Can we get a LinkedIn Live? Yeah, I could do LinkedIn Live, Chase. I normally don't put it on LinkedIn just because I don't think people on LinkedIn are trying to day trade. But hey, let's do it.
I didn't know LinkedIn had a live.
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, I just, you know, it's like you and
makes
I.
Sense.
We wouldn't be watching for content on there. But hey, if you want it on there, we'll get us on there. I put us on there before. I just don't put it on there every single day. But we'll get on there.
Sun W new highs. Weren't you talking about solar and renewables, Nick?
Yeah, dude. There's just so much moving. I can't even catch everything right now.
It's wild. And I'm trying not to make mistakes.
Dude, guys, I mean, I talked about SPI out the gates there. It's up at 17%. I'm going to look for maybe a breakout right here at the 4s. Looks interesting for me. But also the one that I looked at was Max N. It's about to break through that resistance 1184. I'm going to look at that one. ENPH is another one that I'm looking at for a move for 169. Talked about those in pre-market. Take a look at the solar names. They are starting to get moving there. Sun W is leading.
Busy bee. Okay, that's very helpful. I'm going to call you Busy Bee from now on. I'm allergic to bees, but not allergic to you. So I'm going to call you Busy Bee from now. That's going to help me. I appreciate that little tip.
You do have Tesla at 795, about $5 away if you want to go short at that $800 spot again. Rounded from the 790s ish.
Looking for a pullback to get in Max N solar name. Also seeing out there X like kind of rip back up. So just be careful, because I think you're seeing a lot of people take a look at some of those basic materials a lot with everything that's being talked about.
Webcoin, you are not invisible. You have been a stalwart of our chat, and we are appreciative of your contributions. SOXL pop here. So I'm not into either of these, just kind of watching these. Still watching load here. Looks like it wants to take out 195 high a day.
Order out for Max N at 1163s at the VWAP. I'm looking for a pullback fill. Don't want to jump on the 85s here just because I feel like it could pull back. Next thing you know, I'm down 20 cents, and just it doesn't make sense risk to reward wise up here. On a pullback, it does. So let's see if I get that pullback fill. I'd be looking for a pullback right towards this 9 EMA and VWAP, 1163s, like right above that, get a fill, and then right back through the 1184 resistance. We'll see if we get through there. DKS, what happened with that one? Oh, looks like we got back up and tested that 105. I actually might get short on this. Been wanting to short this one. All right, DKS, I'm going to give it one more chance to get back above the 105s. Why? Because if you see the rule of three comes into play, rejection, 1, 2, 3. Let's let it try to break out through that 105.58. If it does, we can just let it go. And you guys that are looking at this maybe for a bullish move are looking for that. And so I'll be looking for a rejection, let's say off of that 105, not even getting up there, and then really quickly back through the 103s.
Whoa. Oh, no, it's just E-Trade being dumb.
Soul moving. Yeah, it feels like everything's moving, man. I'm missing a lot today, but that's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes you're going to catch a lot of moves. Sometimes you'll see that everything moves at once. So it's a little bit difficult.
And it's important to realize that you can't catch everything, right? So don't be too hard on yourself if you're missing things. That's going to feed into the FOMO and the bad discipline and chasing, and that's the worst thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching load here. 2 break might send this.
No fill on that Max N pullback. It went towards 1165s. Missed it by 2 cents there on Max N, guys. I had the order out there. I thought I'd get a fill. Didn't fill. It's already back through the 1190s.
Long load at 2. Here we go.
Perfect trade there. Just missed it by a couple cents there. 2 cents.
I'm stock mining. We'll see if this really what I'd like to see here is I'd like to see a 210 takedown, because that was the pre-market high. I think it probably tests that. Has some decent volume here. It's going red now. Let's see.
Would your stop here below VWAP, or usually I know you're
No, that's too much. That's too much. I'm looking at about 196, 195 stop. I don't want, because basically I feel pretty good about my entry. If it really doesn't push from here, I would rather wait for it to set up again than trying to hold through some type of pull or downward move.
I understand. The fuck?
Battling with that E-Trade life?
Well, E-Trade, I'm actually on TD trying to practice. That's why I'm a little quiet. Trying to get used to this active trader thing.
Yeah, that
active trader is my favorite little thing for in TD. Here we go. Here comes the volume and load. In fact, here, if you guys want to see what active trader, Zunaid, you don't have active. You don't have your active trader. Here, hang on a sec. Let me get mine up here.
I've got it up here. Like I can screen share it if that's
So
what you're
here's
saying.
here's the load trade using the active trader, right? So we're long at 2. We have nice to see a nice bid at 2. I'd like to see this hit 210. The way I'm going to exit my trade is just hit this flatten now button. I don't need to do anything else. I'd love to see it pop through here. I really don't want to see it pull back much past 2. With this big bid at 2, basically, if it broke through this, I'm out of this. I'm waiting for this. So here we go. So now we can get another push here. Would love to see this test 210. That's really what I'm looking for. They put another bid out here at 205. It just ate it. So this might not push on its first attempt here. Would be a real shame to have this go red, but sometimes that happens. Oh, big.
And you've got time and sales right next to it too.
Yep. And that's what we're watching here. I'm watching some of these bigger prints come through here.
Shout out Rich saying INDO halted downwards. So just keep that on watch. SPWR, EMPH being called out in the chat. I'm glad at least I called out that solar play, even though if you guys make the money in it and I don't, hey, I'll still be happy, guys. Like always, one thing that we do is try to at least.
There's load right through 210 out.
Nice.
Boom.
So that's 2. So this is basically what you're seeing right here. This is basically how I do scalping on some of these small caps. We're basically looking for a setup where there's a bunch of sellers, and when the buyers step in and take that volume will often trigger scanners and trigger other traders to pile in. What we've seen with some of these other smaller cap stocks is that they'll move big time. Here we are pushing above 210. I might have been out of that a little too early. And you can see all I'm doing here is I'm flipping a 2,000 share lot. This really isn't even that big of a deal. So if you do this enough throughout the course of the day, these can add up. You can get, a couple $100, $1,000 a day using not that much capital. Just really, really have to follow your plan and stick close to your entry. On that one, we found a great entry at 2. I think at one point it went down to 198. Really didn't dip much more past that. And then we were just waiting for the spot chart to get tested and hit. So pretty simple.
Caterpillar having an awesome day. I talked about this, that I had a feeling that the relationship split. So DE coming down, Cat going up, and they're just trying to catch up with each other. Look at Cat and look at DE. I feel like it was up at the high and it's just trying to catch itself. So these are trades that I definitely need to keep on watch. The industrial trade, I think, is the best trade to be looking at in the next 6 months. So keep your eyes on those. I think those are really good names to look at. DKS about to get short here, just waiting for it to kind of reject off of the resistance. Looks like we just got a rejection there. Might get short right here at the 105 level.
Real quick, just to answer some questions. Chermo saying, Ryan, where do you get this program? This is Thinkorswim. Anyone can download this.
Yeah.
If you don't have a funded TD Ameritrade account, you can download the program in paper trade. If you have a TD Ameritrade account, this is the trading platform that you can install on your desktop. Works for both Mac and PC. And then I also went ahead and posted my TOS flexible grid in here. So that exact setup that you were looking at with the charts and the studies and all of that, that is that link that you see in the chat. You can import that into your Thinkorswim if you do in fact have Thinkorswim.
Starter short in DKS here. Looking to add. Just put half of it on there.
Let's see what options on that look like.
Got that 105.10 there. Looking for a rejection back above 105, and then I'm going to nail on and try to get this DKS to really come back down. We'll see if we can get it.
I'm going to take a starter size on ticker OXY, grabbing the $56 calls expiring this week. I got filled at 256. That's ticker OXY, $56 calls. Small size to start things off as it's going above VWAP. I wanted to get above 56 and close on the 10-minute candle to grab some more.
All right, order out to add on DKS. We don't want to see it pop above 106. That will get us out immediately. Let you guys know if I do get the ad.
Nine halted.
I was going to say, is 9 still halted?
9.
Oh, it just halted. It just
Nine
halted.
Just
again.
halted right now at
Wow,
775.
So that's something else. We talked about a bunch of stocks this morning. I didn't really mention 9. I kind of felt like this is going to be what it was, right? Just an absolute monster move back and forth. I don't like playing the halt.
Just got an ad. You know,
Say again?
I just got an ad. 105.30s now on DKS.
That's all right. I was just saying, just be careful with stocks that halt a lot. I'd rather look somewhere else.
100%. 100%.
Glad I'm not alone.
And that's the thing. It's like everything is just flying and halting, and I'm like, I don't. First off, small stocks or small caps are not my thing. Second, everywhere I look, it's halt. It's like, god damn.
Yeah, the when you see a lot of that extreme volatility going right into the market, those are a lot of times where you're just getting the excessive moves almost in the pre-market. This is why you got to sometimes have pre-market access. I think today was one of those days that you could have been going after pre-market stocks. I don't do it often. But when stocks look like they're going to move excessively right out the gates, that's when I try to get them in the pre-market, because a lot of times you could just miss the move. I feel like a lot of those kind of oil names just kind of ripped right before the bell and giving you a hard look once you get towards the actual bell. All right, looking good here in DKS, at least taking my shot. It's not the biggest. We're talking, this is about 40 shares now at the 105 range. So it's not insane share size. I just want to make sure that everybody protects themselves. But I do think this is a bigger time trade. So I'm taking it. We'll see if DKS can get back down through 100. That's what I'm looking for. A real flush through that 99 would be a monster move for us. Let's see if we can get it.
OXY, by the way, we're up only about 6% or so on the contracts, but I want this 10-minute candle to close above 56.20. That is what I want. We've got about 5 minutes to do that. Let's see if we get it.
Paul, I mean, you don't have to, I'll just say this. Thinkorswim is definitely on both sides. Let me just say that I don't think it's the fastest, but I also don't think it's the slowest.
Yeah, and I don't mean to, cheerlead it. It's not without its problems. It's just what I've become accustomed to, and I trade.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's really what it's about. I mean, there's a reason why I use TC, right? And it's just because I feel like the charting, I like it more aesthetically. It just fits me more. And that's what it's, find what works for you. Also what benefits your strategy. If you need extreme speed on routing, maybe TOS is not the best because they use an algorithm to get your routing out there. So to me personally, that's why I don't like it that often if I'm using it as a day trading vehicle. But if you're using it as an investment and swing trading vehicle, I don't think you're worried too much about your 3 cents in each trade. And so that's a little bit different.
Benzinga did not remove Charlie.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's blame TD.
Yeah, Charlie is going strong here on Benzinga. All you need is a subscription to Benzinga Pro, and you can get access to Charlie. TD did stop the squawk through their platform, but believe me, Charlie is still doing good. We use them every day. And so someone was asking earlier how the flatten now works. You guys were just talking about Thinkorswim and the different. Flatten now is basically selling your position at market. Whatever it is, get you to zero, get you to flat, and do it at market. And the reason that I use it in that case is because when a stock is trading up on like a momentum push, I just want all my shares gone. I don't want a limit. I had 2,000 shares. So if someone came in and bought 1,900 shares, what am I going to do with those leftover 100? Just sell them at market and get out. You saw actually in that trade, I actually ended up losing about $15 because the bid was slightly under where the current price was. But you know what? I'll live with that. I'll figure out how to make that back somewhere else.
All right. You've got some options flow. You've got $2 calls coming in on CEI. I'm tempted here. All right, just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and buy CEI. I went ahead and got filled at $1.70. My stop loss will be about 146. All right, give me a second here. 146. There we go. On CEI. Again, this is just a little fun size, if you will.
On Oxy?
On CEI. What is it? Camber Energy. On Oxy, we're still going strong here. Those contracts were up 10% last I checked. Now they're up about 7. You can see it hit that 56.50. I wanted to go ahead and pop up above now. I'm also going to go ahead and put up CEI here. If you guys have another stock you want me to put up, please let me know.
Look at Sun W.
Here, you know what? Let me just have a little fun with this.
Solar, baby. I have a feeling if you get that EU to come out, I just look for forward-looking catalysts. That's a lot of the times, and I'm not going to be right a lot of the times. I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of times people like to be more reactionary. I like to be a little bit more forward-looking. But what I'm doing is I'm looking at catalysts to come, right? And so I feel like a lot of times price action's faster than the news. And so I'm looking at that and I'm seeing, okay, well, solar's starting to come up. What's potential of some good catalysts coming out in the next 2 days? There is potential. And so I think that sometimes the price action forward runs that news. That's why I was looking at solar today.
Yeah, Webcoin, real quick. When I use flatten, so when I let me go back to that here real quick. Let me be very specific about what I'm saying. So I have load pulled up here, and just the way this works is load is in this window, okay, and this window contains the time and sales, the active trader, and the chart. This window is linked via the red link to these 2 windows, which are different time frames. One's a daily, one's a 5-minute. When I hit flatten now right here, the only thing that it's going to do is it's going to flatten this position that I'm in. It will not flatten my other positions that I'm in, like Chara or anything like that. It will only flatten this position. So I can rotate through different stocks here and use this as like my day trading window. In fact, I named it day trading because it has a very specific purpose. Hope that helps.
You've got OXY. What's up?
I was just going to say, by the way, this is why we take gains fast. Remember, I bought load on a cross through 2 to the upside and sold around 210. And now here we are at 196. This is why when you're day trading, got to take your gains fast. Don't let the trades go red on you.
OXY went ahead and closed that 10-minute candle above the $56 level that we like. Those contracts are now up about 19%. Please scale out, especially if your size is, I guess depending on your size, where you want to try to build your account. Try to hit these singles. You're up 20% on those contracts now. Please, please, please scale out.
Sun W is halted.
When my gold trade today, the gold lagger, I missed the trade there, but really nice trade in that AGI stock that I mentioned today. I hope that someone was able to catch that one. It was a laggard in oil, in gold, AGI. Look at this trade. Beautiful trade right up there towards 854s. Today, up from the 830s. And you could have been catching the VWAP bounces each time. I missed this one. I wasn't watching it, but that's already a nice 3% move. AGI, cheaper name too for those people. I like to look for names that are under $10. If we could mention those, I'm sure that some people love that. Soul breaking out, says born to be free. Soul was definitely a nice one to watch today. Level to breakout is 656. I already have a level there. Let's see if we can continue the rise through the resistance. This is a daily resistance to the left. If you look, you could also see it closer on the weekly. The weekly is what really showed me that I would look for a move above 650s towards that 750. We'll see if we get that lift today in Seoul. Another one that I'm taking a look at now is APPH here, guys. I do like that look. DKS working really good for me, guys. I almost am not even looking at that one. I'm just watching my unrealized going to the green, and I'm just trying to take it off because the emotions are a little bit high on that one. We'll see if APPH can come back around, get on up there. I do have a feeling that you could see APPH get up there towards the 560s. I'll see if it squeezes right now through the VWAP at 520s.
I'm going to go ahead and scale out of some OXY contracts here. Went ahead and scaled out around $2.97.
Melissa said I'm new and bought HUSA in pre-market today at 14. Now it's halted. What does this mean in context? Can you help that? Can you help that out, Ryan? Can you see what kind of stock halt is HUSA? Is it a volatility halt or is it a news pending halt?
So here's let's do it together. So here's another reason why Benzinga Pro is just owner. I can, in my exact trading setup that I use with you guys, I just typed in the stock that we're asking about, and I click on news, And I can see here that it is in fact halted at 9:55 a.m. I actually don't have a reason. So you'll notice that in some cases it will say volatility halt. Give me here. I think Sun W is one of those. Here you go. Here's what exactly what you were talking about. Volatility trading pause. Volatility trading pause. Now with Huso, we didn't get that. And just remember that these halts are all from our signals algorithm. There's no human involved in this. This is an API determining what's going on. So what this means is that we didn't get a halt code from the exchange, or it's a code that's not recognized. That's why you have reason not available. Those volatility halts, those are almost certainly going to always have the correct reason available on them. This is halted. I don't have a resumption time, and I don't have a reason yet. I'll look around for you, though.
Just keep your eye on it. We'll let you know. Sure. And a lot of the times, if you don't see anything, I would call it as volatility, but I haven't taken a look. Let me see. How high did it go up? How fast did it drop in the 1 minute?
The downside, right? It was a drop to the downside because we were in a 15 handle and we went to a 10 handle. So volatility would be my guess too.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely a volatility halt. And usually you get what? Let's say on the last one, you got what? 10-minute halt? Yep, 10-minute halt. So let's look for a 10-minute halt again. And you would be opening up right now in this minute. So when did we get a halt? When was the time? Do we have the time on Pro?
Yeah, we sure do. That was 9:55:27.
Okay. 57, you said?
9:55:27.
Okay, so in about a minute and 30 seconds or 20 seconds, 27 seconds. So look for a 10:05:57 opening. Let's see if that opens up here. Oh no, it'd be 10:04 because it was 59, right? 55. So 10 minutes up.
55:27.
So 10:05:57. That's
we
when
have
you
about
should reopen.
30 seconds here.
I'll be watching it. I'll watch it with you.
Yeah, I'll watch it with you because this is a good lesson.
Exactly. One thing you'll notice also when the stock is halted, you'll see that the level 2 gets up really weird. That's one way to kind of know that you're going almost into the halt. You'll start seeing all of a sudden like kind of weird ordering, and all of a sudden the level 2 usually like starts separating. You're seeing very small amount of order size going through, and their time in sales will usually go from really fast to all of a sudden slow down, halt. Just kind of give that example out there. I definitely look for those all the time.
That was exactly what it was. It was a volatility halt. It is now open. It opened exactly on the second that we said. So Melissa's asking, can a stock come back after a halt? Yes, absolutely. A lot of the times they just halt it because it's moving around too quickly. The one you really have to watch out for is where it's halted indefinitely, 3 months sometimes, because it's like a fraud or something like that. That is not the case here for HUSA, at least not so far, I should say.
That was a fast move. I also saw a big bidder there. So just be careful out there, guys, on that one. Definitely fast moves. All right, let's catch up with the chat. You guys out there, smash the like if you guys are enjoying the day and enjoying the trading action. We're going to keep going until 11:30, but I need you guys to smash that like and keep us going past 11. The way we do this is we get past 400 likes. Let's see where we're at right now. We're only at 141 likes, guys. We need a lot of likes to get past 11. So at some point today, if you can take a second, please hit that like button. Let's smash on up and let's see what happens out here.
All right, OXY, real quick. I'm going to go ahead and scale out some more. You're up about 35% on those contracts. Going to go ahead and get out here at 345. We got in at 256. So that's almost $100 per contract. My realistic target is about $58 is what I'm going for on OXY.
All right, silver up massive, and man, what a breakout in BTU. I'm done missing this stock, guys. I'll probably end up having like 5 losers. This is as FOMO as it gets to me with BTU, guys. It's just been such a great winner. VWAP bounces all the time. Look at that today. Beautiful move already. 10% day already in BTU. It's almost like honestly, I feel like slapping myself for trading anything else.
When you
Let's
get to the point where you want to beat yourself up, you know something has happened.
Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes, I mean, a lot of trading, especially day trading, I feel like it's going with the best plays, right? Like the biggest movers, right? Because those are going to give you the best kind of risk to reward here. And I thought BTU was definitely one to keep on watch today. We just didn't catch it, you know, and I missed it, by 3 cents on that pullback. So it happens, guys. It's going to happen. And what can you do? You just got to let it go. But definitely, I think that it's important to not miss many of these plays, because if you're looking at these stocks that are continuously going on up, this is how you really find a winning sector or industry. Look at coal overall in the last couple of weeks or days. I mean, and you can see what a massive gain coal has done. Self-punishment, yes.
I know Jeff Dees is here because I see XOM being mentioned in the chat. Jeff has been on, I joke, but Jeff has been on this since it really first started to run here. Energy has been crazy. This went from 60 to 90 in a month? Just an absolutely massive move. And it is printing highs again. Mitch, to your point about
I almost didn't want to be right about oil. We talked about oil potentially below $100, maybe goes to 150. We're almost there, Ryan.
Yeah, and there were calls earlier from what the Russians were saying that this could go to 300 a barrel. I mean,
yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's insane out there. All right, guys, gonna look for a long here. APPH, guys, gonna go ahead and get a starter right now. There you guys have it. Got in there 507. Yeah, 507 there. Gonna look for a pullback to 505 to add. Looking at this one, this is a big mover yesterday. Gonna look for it to push back on up there towards 560s in there. APPH. Don't want to see a rejection of VWAP. Want to see the volume actually increase, is what we saw last time when it got to VWAP. Let's see if we get that same move, pushing through that 510s, then getting on up there towards, let's say, the 540s, and then 560s for top reward. Let's see if we get that move.
I missed my ad on CEI by 1 penny, apparently.
Yeah, today's one of those days where you're not going to get those fills, Nick. I haven't had that feeling today, yo. Like,
here, look.
Even if you have
I'm already in at TD, right? But I wanted to, also show it on TradeStation, so I bought another 500 here. And then I said, hey, look, support was right there. I'm going to buy exactly at 154, risk off at 145. Look at that. It literally got there, just didn't fill me. But now it's going to be like, oh, you know what? And look, I already have a profit target set. I would have already been in the money. And now it's going to try to take my money and then stop it. Nah, you ain't fooling me. I'm out. But
keep up the good work, Zunaid of 2022. Looks like you got your own. You got your own copycat, bro. Is Zunaid in the chat?
Yeah.
You know what? That account, by the way, was created in 2018. So I feel like someone's just changing the name of their YouTube channel.
No, but you know what? You know what they say, Zunaid? Impersonation is the highest form of flattery.
Oh, I love it.
You're the only person here that has a doppelganger, and you have it because you've been killing it, man. You've been absolutely killing it.
Thank you.
We're gonna laugh with them if they get out of line.
Absolutely,
smack them around a little.
I will just say this: I have never seen my wife, my stepsister, or myself from the future in the same place. So they're just switching things around. You know what I mean?
You got to give a good old, just.
Oh man.
Yes. Zunaid.
I love it. OXY coming down. Now look, if it breaks VWAP, you should go in and get out. But for now, I'm hanging out in this trade.
How high could this oil realistic pump be? Honestly, it could go to $200 a barrel, man. We could possibly see $6-7 a gallon here. Honestly, I would be look for all those people that have those gas guzzlers, park them in the garage, man. If you have a gas guzzler, oh good lord, you're gonna see those EVs just take off, and everyone's gonna want an EV after this year.
But the price of the materials that go into building EVs is going up too. How does that work?
Exactly. So the price has to be passed down to the consumer, right, Ryan? A lot of times that's what happens. So you'll see those prices probably selling above sticker price. Could that be what
I
happens?
saw that yesterday. I saw someone was at a Toyota dealership and there was a markup on a Tundra that was like 13K. I don't know. I don't think I liked it. Let me go through my Twitter and see if I like that, because I'll
I
show you
can't
the
do that.
exact tweet.
I can't do it. Gas in Cali, where we live, is already $5.99. Melissa, move.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Melissa. This is not financial or education advice. This is more life advice. I can't handle that $5.99 a gallon, and I live at home. I work at home, so couldn't imagine that.
I didn't like that tweet. It's good. Darn. If I come across that,
All right, guys. Close to stopping
Bless
out
you.
here on
Excuse me.
APPH. 495s would get me out here. 5 is the support we don't want to see break. We'll see if we break down there. I'm in at 507, so that's not going to be the worst loss. It's a very smaller share size here on APPH. Looking at DKS coming back here, did catch off of that VWAP, and there was a big volume bar that just got put in. Needs to reject here at 105s. If not, we're going to get out break even. We got a chance to get a big winner there. Could have taken it out at VWAP, but I was looking for a break below VWAP. We'll see if we get it. And if not, break even on the rest. I'm setting up for a bigger trade in this one. If it stops me out, let it stop me out.
Let's see, where is my... Damn it, where's my... There it is. OXY. It's trying to kill how it's trying to go above higher day, excuse me. But obviously those contracts are still about 31% or so. Please make sure you scale out.
Done. Hand on the trigger here for DKS. Just watching, see what happens here. See if we get any fill above these. We get another rejection. Another rejection would be awesome, but it just needs to reject here. We'll see what happens. All right, looks like real estate's starting to turn on over. A lot of things getting into the red. Industrial's getting into the red there. Energy, just a sector, and literally the sector to watch. All right, really close to stopping out here at DKS. It's like right off of the risk. It's just the spread's a little bit wide here, so I'm looking to see if we get any fills on the top side, or is it filling more on the bid side here?
Man. TMC, what is this? The metals company? That just busted through 3. That actually looks like this wasn't on my radar, but it looks like there was a spot there at 260 that got taken out as well. Interesting.
It's a good one to watch. I have it on my radar. It's one of the things that happened in that one is there's a lot of retail attention on that one. You know what they're said to do? You ready for this one?
So yeah, lay it on me. Sorry.
Ocean floor mining.
Okay.
They're gonna mine the ocean floor, man, for materials.
I have no insight into that.
Yeah, no insight into that either, man. I just see that like it's like a dream. All right, out DKS there. Whoo, and I saved myself a good penny right there. Good Lord, look at that chart right now.
What happened?
Look, so DKS, like I literally got out there on the 50s and it spiked to like 107.
Were you short?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like I was so happy I got out right there. That thing went up fast, man. You got to be careful with those squeeze spots. DKS above that 105.71. If it keeps holding that for the rest of the day, it's going to be a little bit bullish move up. Why is this moving on up? No logical sense for me at least, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes, guys. All right, let's go. Let's look at some other trades on out there. Still looking at APPH, starting to come off of that 499. A move back towards 510s might get me to add for a push above. We'll see if this one can get moving there. Let's take a look at some of the energies that we talked about today. We were taking a look, and I'll go through some of the ones that Ryan had mentioned. USEG. Take a look at that. That's actually on a halt. Looks like it's halted. If that is just not trading any volume. Very low volume traded on that one anyways.
No, this is a halt on volatility. It's expected to resume in a minute.
All right, CEIs I think is doing an interesting chart. It did like a 1 minute pattern bullish, 1 minute pattern bearish. And if you look here on the 15-minute, it's going to still look bullish, right? And so let's see if it comes back, takes out this high, 170, comes for a $2 breakout. That's CEI. I'm going to keep going through some other ones here, but just want to call out some setups. CELP was another one that we mentioned earlier today. So let's take a look at that one. That one's holding $3 pretty well there. I kind of like this. I like the ability for it to hold sideways here. Would look for $3 to push back towards 340s right now. Not a bad one there. CELP there. I like that setup.
OXY, you're up 40%. I'm going to go ahead and scale out some more here. Oh, the price just dropped on me? Nope. All right, I'm out of some more at $3.60. So that's 3 scale outs. I literally just have a few contracts left. Might be greedy and wait for a little bit more. But for now, scaling out 20, 30, 40%.
Help.
What is that like noise?
That's my computer trying to blow up.
Wait,
Okay,
seriously?
well, at least you know what it is. I mean,
I thought it was like a cat toy, and I was like, ah, whatever.
Yeah, that's my
he just said
computer.
it so nonchalantly, Zunaid. I just rolled with it.
That's insane.
Let's just say it's trying to take off as SpaceX supported.
Short on Mitch's PC, please.
Borrow fees are incredible, by the way. So everyone is seeing
IV puts are through the roof.
I'll take the fees. Let's just say that.
Oh, man. That's crazy. Yeah, I thought it was like someone said I thought it was an insect. I thought it was like a cat toy, like, insect. I was like, yeah, whatever.
It's not the fans, it's the processor. It's starting to go, but I mean, 3 years.
How long have you had that PC for?
3 years. That's what happens when you get Intel, bro. AMD all the way.
Oh, shots fired, baby. Mitch just out here throwing daggers at people.
All right, guys.
All right.
So this self trade looks really nice there. I did like this look. We'll see if it takes on off. But I'll go to Zunaid here. I'm not going to take it, but it does look interesting there.
Yeah, give me a sec. I might flatten out of this trade here. So I am going to go ahead and take a short on Qualcomm. You can see on the left-hand side, it is coming up around 150. Now, this is going to be a quick short in the sense of if it breaks 150.50, I will be out. But I'm going to go ahead and grab the 149 puts expiring this week. I got filled at $3.45. And again, this could be a quick stop out. So please, please, please be very, very careful.
Guys, just like a general PSA here, a lot of people were asking about halts, asking about why things are moving. Just the whole reason that I have Benzinga Pro is for that reason. Twitter is one thing, talking to friends is another, watching TV is yet another thing, but having access to the platform, being able to know exactly when things are halted down to the second so that you can plan the reopen, being able to watch news headlines, being able to scan and chart all in the same spot so that I don't have to go back and forth, having access to the community, like those are the things that help me trade in high volatility times like that. If you don't have something like that, you're really at a disadvantage.
Long CEI here, long CEI. Seen some people stepping up.
Let's check it out.
So a lot of times when I look for big orders, right? So I got 24,000 shares at 160. Then right after that, 15, 10, 25, 15, 50,000 shares stepping up there. 50,000 shares there at 161. So we're going to use a really tight stop here at 156. Look for a push towards 170. Want to see the volume increase there at 170. Get up there towards 190. Sell there into the move to 2.
CEI is actually trying to curl right now. So I think if you actually get if you get this above, it get you an exact price. 163. We take out 163, you're going to have a curl going on CEI.
Yeah, the big thing for me, I like it on the bigger time frame, the 15 minutes. The 1 minute boys being stopped out, washed out, and now you're going to see maybe the bigger time frame boys make the money.
Let me see. Where's my CEI position? I can pull it up here. SPY, by the way, rejecting VWAP, which is helping Qualcomm reject VWAP here as well. Yeah, I'm down about $50. And you can see the 150 level held. I should have had my second ad there, but I did not. It is what it is.
Drift and Juke, you've been asking about IMPP the entire time. You've been asking about the exact same stock the entire time. We mentioned it at the beginning. This thing is really just sold off completely out of the open and is trying to bounce. This is moving with a lot of the other stocks that we're talking about. It's moving with energy. We do not make predictions on where this is going to go. 163 up here on CEI.
Not looking bad there. I want to see that push on 170s. That's really the important part. Not liking this pullback in APPH. It looked good there at 510. I thought it was going to really start getting motoring there, and it's pulling back there. If it breaks 5 now, we're going to get on out. We don't want to see a breakdown of 5. We're not going to go to 495s. Remember, we're in there at 507, so that would be a small 7-cent loss there. We'll see what happens on APPH. Here for CEI, 156, 155 showing up on the bid will immediately get us out. It's a bigger share size position, so you got to be a little bit tighter. We'll see what happens here if it gets back through that 160.
CEI really needs that 163 spot. If it takes that out, it will look on the chart as if it's trying to curl back up towards VWAP, which is 169.
Yep. We'll see if we get that move.
The spread on those Qualcomm shorts is about 20 cents wide or so, but you're up about 6%, nothing crazy. OXY, by the way, high a day. Equities would have been real nice as well, as the options are starting to slowly increase and not as fast as I was hoping. But OXY has been a really nice trade so far. Still in that Qualcomm short. Matter of fact, my first scale out will be at $3.90. I'll let you know if I get filled.
You're getting a shout out by Ninja letting you know AMD is above VWAP.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see. AMD. Ooh, okay.
We got the Biden speech coming up soon, right? I think that's at 10:45, but let me go ahead and confirm that for us.
Umar. Oh, my God.
Umar swinging Indo. Nice job. Nice job closing that trade, locking those profits in. Way to go.
Ninja, did you happen to take the $100 AMD trade? Look at that. $100, didn't pierce through, got yourself $2 off of that move. I hope somebody in the chat took note of it when we talked about it in pre-market, as we were too busy with other plays.
Yeah, well, I'll be looking at it right now. Getting close to getting out of this CEI. It's testing. It needs to get back towards the 160 here. So is APPH. About to get out on that one. If it breaks the 499 mark right here. Looks like it could just come back down there.
All right, Qualcomm, my first scale out is filled at $3.90. We got in this trade at $3.45. We got out at $3.90, scaling some out.
Market's rolling over here, folks, so just be careful.
Yeah, come on down. Come on down.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it. Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't have the patience for this CEI trade. I'm gonna go ahead and get out. This ain't happening.
I know how that feels right now, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close out. I lost $60. You got it, CEI.
You know what? Zunaid's out. Let's add to the position.
I mean, I hope you make money because I'm just tired of looking at paint.
Just joking.
Last 30 minutes, I've been staring at this goddamn. Look at
that
this.
That shit is so slow,
bro. I've been staring, and this is why I hate playing some of these stocks, man.
Yeah, it's hard.
I've been staring at 20 cents for the last 30 minutes. No, sir. No, thank you.
No, sir.
Nope, not doing it. Not your damn mind. I'm going back to my Qualcomm.
CEI back up to the spot now. Now that Zunaid is out, we can go.
Right? That's what I think will happen now. I don't even want to add because I'm gonna jinx myself here.
man.
Well,
but-
here's the thing.
I hope y'all make bank always.
Here's the thing. With Zunaid out now, if this takes out 163, I might join.
That's what happens, right? I
It's
always
gotta
say
do that
this.
though. It hasn't done that yet here, and this thing moves really really fast. So he's not gonna do it. Oh man,
Yeah, this
that's
is
fun.
the Benzinga backstage. You guys just get access to it.
163. They're trying, man. They're trying.
Yeah, they're trying.
They couldn't try 20 minutes earlier.
They took 163.
Like I told you, somebody
go.
said Zunaid's out, and there was an alert put out there.
Mitch made a call. He's like, yo, he's out.
He's out.
Mitch made a
Zunaid's out.
call.
Zunaid's out.
We got him, boys. We got him out.
Get her done.
Oh,
Let's
my
go.
God.
165 now.
Anyone on the kelp trade, says Chermo? Let's take a look there.
So I just jumped into kelp. That was a
I
big
like that
one
one.
yesterday. Let's all jokes aside, let's take a look at that.
Yeah,
So
I was calling it
340
out.
is the
The,
spot for
the,
me.
the break was a nice look right there. Like it was right off the VWAP 305 when we were looking at it. So if you got that trade, I mean, that's not looking bad. What I like is it did the throwback. So when you get above the trend line and you come back and you can just hold that trend line, that should give you that confirmation. All right, there you go. Let's try to take out the highs. Let's get that reward. That's what I always look for. A lot of the times is looking for that throwback look, because that throwback, especially when you get volume to come in, like, so you see the volume spikes on the push out right here. That's this candle. Then it pulls back and then you get that continuation of volume. So spike in volume, the volume dies out for a second on the pullback. And then when you come back, look how the volume starts spiking again. That's what you want to see. And there's the break of CEI.
Yeah, I forgot how the position in Trade Station. I'm glad it's moving.
Oh yeah, you got the other one.
You know? Yeah, I totally forgot because I'm looking at another
hold on,
play
let me call
here.
the boys.
I'm like, wait, nah,
Time to
chill,
call the
chill,
boys.
Chill, hang
Slam
tight,
this
hang
thing
tight.
back down to the 150 handle.
Time to call the boys. It's time to call the boys.
Oh man,
The boys.
No, but so all jokes aside, oh my god, it really did start to go down. Okay, no, all jokes aside though, all jokes aside, that curl is what we were looking for, right? When it took out 163, you pushed up, they walked that bid up a little bit because on the chart on that 1 minute, it looks like it's curling, and VWAP's not far away here at 169. So I think 169 probably gets tested here. Unsure if it gets broken. We'll go ahead and see.
We have a new trend on the 1 minute: higher lows, higher lows. That's all I'm going to look for now. Just higher lows.
oh man.
Higher lows. And can I get a picture of Zunaid on here? I need to put a picture of Zunaid right here.
Where? Hold on.
Right.
I gotta look at the stream. Where?
Right.
Oh,
at,
right there.
at the Harmy. The Harmy right there. That Harmy was all Zunaid. Just
Oh
put a picture
man.
of Zunaid right there.
Oh
Thanks-
boy. Oh
thanks,
boy. Oh
bro.
boy.
Thanks, bro.
Oh boy.
Appreciate you, bro.
Luck, man. Yeah, it is testing VWAP. For me, you got to have it close above 170 on the 10 minute. That would be my spot. As
Yeah,
Qualcomm
we never
comes
said it was
roaring
breaking
back.
out. We never said it was breaking out. We're just messing around here. If we do really get a big push above, let's say 170, then we could be like, all right. If we get a push, let's say from 170 to 190s in like 2 minutes, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that's a breakout.
Yeah, so CELP, I'm actually waiting for a 340 takedown. I think if we take down 340, that might be your entry trigger there. We'll see.
So Nick talking about the airline stocks and why are they up today. That it is kind of a weird question, right? This is how it is sometimes in the market. You sometimes got to ask yourself, is the stock moving more on a kind of daily outlook or a longer time frame outlook? And if you look at the daily, you'll see, okay, this stock has been destroyed the last 2 days. So a little bounce here is nothing wrong. It could be also people getting out of positions. When you get out, what do you got to do? Go ahead and do. You start smashing up and you get in that sell button. I think some people are looking for shorts in these names. And that's another reason why you could see sideways action today, because too many people are just leaning one way. And so we'll see what happens. I think that this eventually comes back down, but I do understand why you'd be confused on what's going on with airlines today. What do you think here, Ryan?
On what? On airlines?
On airlines.
Yeah,
There
I
you
mean, well,
go.
first of all, it's pretty much flat. I mean, it's not really up all that much. I guess LUV was up a little bit more. If you take a look at that, that was up 3%. Yeah. Sorry, OEG just took out 219 here. I missed it. There was a huge seller at 219 that just got taken out.
No worries. What
I
you
took it
looking
off
at right
I
now?
took it off my screen. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. What are you looking at?
Wait.
Take a look at some of these.
Go ahead. By the way, CI above VWAP 175 touch. Go ahead.
Zunaid.
Really?
Zunaid,
Yeah, swear to God, it
dude,
just touched 175.
You pulled the ultimate fake out. Stop one position, then let the other one run.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, shout out TD and trying to trade active trader. But I'm sorry, you were saying something, Ron. I just had to get that out.
No, I was basically just saying, like, I don't necessarily understand the airlines too. I mean, the oil's up, so you'd think that their input cost is up. There's still people that are, don't want to travel or reduce travel from COVID. So it doesn't make sense to me why they're up. But like Mitch was saying, sometimes the market will do things that don't make a whole lot of sense, and they'll catch people out of position. I've been looking to trade something other than the airlines here. I am a little disappointed that I missed that 163 break on the curl on CEI though, because that was we're already 12 cents above that. Just that was it, and then we went right through that VWAP. Saw someone commented it wasn't breaking out; it was testing VWAP. That's exactly right. We might have used the language that it's breaking VWAP to the upside, but you got it. The point there is that it was.
You got it.
You got
I love it. Real quick, Qualcomm, you're up about 15% on those calls. The spread's like, this is why you want to go ahead and put limit orders in, because the spread's about 35 cents on those contracts, but you're up 54% on those OXY calls. Look at that beauty. We got it near VWAP, and it's just been going out and out. I'm going to go ahead and close all my contracts except one that I'm going to go ahead and leave as a trail. And my last, where in the world can I get out with these contracts? One moment. I am out the last contract except the one trailing one at 392. We got in at 256. That's almost a double on OXY. We're out. And of course, we're in these Qualcomm's puts. Qualcomm is now Qualcomm is now hitting low of day. You're up about 20% on those contracts. I'm going to scale out here at 420 on those as well. And CEI is going towards 180. Suck it, whoever tried to get me out of all my positions. All right, I'm
just got out of that APPH there, guys. $10 loss there, nothing crazy. But looking at X again, might take another X trade here, guys. Do like this VWAP pullback here. Looking to maybe get in here at 75s or 76, something like that, and then risk off the support here towards 2960s. Let me see if I can get this trade. I want to go a little tick below the VWAP here. There you go. Make it look like it's going to get below it. There you go, guys. Just grab there 75s there, 29.75 on X here. Going to go ahead up and put this trade up so we can see it. CEI still working for us. We're going to look for a push towards the first resistance, 185. I'll be looking to sell some into that 190. Then I'll look to sell the rest through the $2 if we can get that move on CEI. Not sure exactly where Ryan's looking at it or Zunaid, but they can let you know their reward outlooks.
I missed it. I missed the curl. For me, the spot was the 163 break, showed the curl. Confirmation was the snap above the VWAP at 169. Right now, I'd probably trim here at 182. That's going to be your resistance one pivot from today. Let me actually see if I can bring that up here for you. Let's go ahead and
show me that pivot.
All right, so here are the levels that I'm looking at, right? So first of all, 163 we identified on the chart. That was right in here. That gives you this curl formation that we're looking at. You'll see this quite a bit. This will be a common formation. Prior to having, like, if we didn't have this data right here, this looks like just kind of a sell-off, but it found some footing at 160. When it broke 163, it curled back up. VWAP here. Okay, this is the VWAP line, this purple middle line here. Also corresponds, for those of you that took my flexible grid, notice that those dots on the price ladder here correspond to these studies. So this VWAP value right here at 169, that's printed right here on the chart. This right here, this red line, that's called a pivot line. That's at 182. That's this red triangle right here. Okay, so these are the levels that I'm watching. Mitch, you said you were looking for this to go up to the 190s, 197 here. This is going to be your upper band of VWAP. This is one standard deviation ahead of the VWAP here. Day high is 198. So really, this spot could produce another potential trade here if this gets snapped on dollar.
I'm going to take another small cap trade here. I'm going to go ahead and grab some equity into ticker ISUN. Let me go ahead and do it on TradeStation as well. Because I have it on on the buy side. ISUN went ahead and got filled at 689. If you want to go ahead and be risky with your life, those contracts moved. Damn. I was gonna say you could grab the 750 calls. They were trading for about $1.10, and now they're for about $1.35. So don't do that. But anyway, you can see the trade up there. Stop loss will be below 650. Call it 630 just to give me a little bit of breathing room. And then let's see if I make money or not.
And so right here, Luciana saying, thank you, bought CEI at 162 and sold at 178. So you effectively played the exact same trade that we just talked about. You front ran, if you will, the actual break of 163. You entered at 162, so you got in a little bit earlier, and then you took your gains a little bit ahead of that 182 spot. So you took your gains at 178. I think that's a great trade. You don't need to follow these dots or these indicators right to the penny. You just need to understand what it is that you're looking at. CEI pulling back here. So as far as I'm concerned, I think you made a great little trade there.
We'll see what happens a little bit later. President Biden.
You're already out?
Me? No, I'm still in, man. I'm hanging out. I'm hanging out.
I was like, damn, I'm about to lose money by myself?
I like to hang out in positions sometimes, man.
Yeah, man. Shit, God bless.
Just got to hang out. That's what happens when you don't trade with too much sizing. You don't really just cut yourself off too short.
No, that's what happens when you trade lower price stocks with a thick order book.
That's thick with 3 C's, right, Zunaid, just to clarify?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. That's exactly what it is.
Just got ahead.
Exactly it.
Now you're going to have somebody call Zunaid's thick something. Never mind. You know
well, now that you just said it, yeah, you just literally invited it.
You're by yourself on this one, man.
Yeah, I'm out.
Why? No, hey, listen.
Full screen, baby.
Take your vitamins, people.
The best part is you can't even change it.
I can do this, though. Ha, look at that.
All right, guys. Past 10:30 now. I want to do a shout out here. Push some likes, guys. We're at 255 likes. If you guys have been enjoying the trading action today, or maybe just enjoying overall our stream, I mean, that's really what it's all about. We're here to have a good time, learn about some trading, and also, I mean, build the community up. So please do me the favor, guys. Smash the like, support us as we support you guys doing this 100% free. And on every day except Friday. Come on, where else are you getting this? Let's go ahead. Let's get to it, guys. Definitely going to see what happens with this CEI, see if it keeps pushing. Coming up next in the 5 minutes, supposedly Biden's supposed to come on. So you could see some change of action in the overall market. So just be careful out there. Just want to put that out there. Just like a warning flag. You see quick moves. It's okay to get out of positions, especially if you don't understand what's going on. I think this is a kind of a warning flag that I'm giving here, just in case you see all of a sudden huge volatility in a direction and you don't understand the catalyst. I always think that, you got to do protection first versus think reward first. Always worry about your risk side first, then worry about your reward side. I think in a situation like that, if I just see stocks just shift into a direction, I'm going to be calm about that. I'm going to close all my positions and make sure I know what's going on before I put on some more.
And so what you were just talking about there, Mitch, is exactly what I was trying to say about Benzinga Pro. This is why this is so important to me personally, is because you have to know the why. You have to know what's going on, why it's going on, and you need to be able to synthesize that as quickly as possible. It's also one of the reasons I like these communities here. I only have one set of eyes. I can only keep my eyes on so many stocks at a time. When you have a community watching the same thing, you can have your idea generation turned up. I love watching you guys joke and laugh. This is a serious game. This is not a kid's game, and it's not a game that you want to lose. So a lot of the times you can, your emotions can actually take over here. And by trading with the community and having some laughs and having a good time, it helps me stay in a better mental state, make better trades. So Pro helps me stay informed. Community helps me stay in a better mental state.
Yeah, today's one of those days where at least I've kept my losses small. So if I look back, I'm not going to be too upset. I'm down less than $30 today, and that's a lot of it is just risk management, giving myself potentials to make money, and that's all you can do as a day trader. I think a lot of people try to look at it as success and failure, and I think it's more about execution and process, because really, I mean, you don't know if you're ever going to win or lose in a trade. The only thing you can know is, where do I got to make decisions for entries, exit, risk management, the strategy. Those are the only things you guys can think about. And as a day trader, from that point on, you don't think about a trade as right or wrong, but as results from your execution. I think this is very important for all traders to learn. Even experienced traders go through a rut where they're starting to look at winning and losing and attaching themselves to it versus detachment and only attaching yourself to your process.
Cheers to everyone else out there as well.
All right, CEI holding sideways above VWAP. Really feeling confident about that position. Let's see it keep going. We'll see what happens on CEI. X also looking good here. I could add to the position, but when I'm in between, and I feel like right now I'm in between on X, this is what I call being a little bit of a pig. Why? Because if you see the sideways action right now, above it is what, 29.95. Below it is 29.58. And I'm there in at 29.75. So pretty much in the middle of that. So I call that being a little bit of a pig there. Why? Because I'm not necessarily with the bulls or the bears. I'm kind of in between here. So I would only look for an add out of a breakout above the resistance, or let's say a breakdown of support to get in on out. So that's why I wait here instead of just adding here right at my entry, because then you could get a test of support and you just get stopped out. Or it could push up to resistance, and if you add too quickly, if you get too excited on those little jerks on ups, that's how you easily get out of your average, and then you're on the top side of the range, which is definitely not the place to be. So we'll see what happens here on X.
Real quick, Husa being mentioned in the chat by Nick. Husa doing the exact same thing here. It's actually a CEI, right? We got that curl, right? So we actually traded back down. If you look at the here, we traded back down right towards 895.9. This area we traded sideways for a little bit, and then we started to curl, right? You can actually confirm this. These green volume sticks, as they start to expand, the price actually takes out the top of this level. It consolidates again for a couple of minutes here before it makes a new move up. We'll see if it ends up consolidating here. I would say this: you get the same type of pattern where this actually just trades sideways. If this pulls all the way back, obviously that's different. But if this trades sideways like it did in here and in here, perhaps the next leg up again. Now, the thing here is, again, we don't know what's going to happen here. The whole trading is playing the odds, positioning yourself for potential moves. With every potential move that you make, there's inherent risk, and it's going to be up to you to manage that. No one's going to be able to do that for you. No one's going to care about doing that for you more than you as well. So it's just something to keep in mind here. This Husa chart looks good.
Yeah, bigger order on X at 29.78 and 29.60. So 10,000 shares and 13,000 shares who got put in there. Pay attention to those levels above and below. So above 79, above 79 and 29.79, or below 29.60s are very important levels here. Know where those bigger traders are at, I think, is so important. It's something that I have almost, I can't even have confirmation, but I think it's just so important to know where those bigger traders are, because algorithmic volume is just almost near impossible to follow. At least from what I've seen in my experience at looking at the time in sales.
Jay Rice is saying that was a blow off top in those small energy crap names. So he's referring to things like Indo, Husa, USEG, USWS. I think 9 was in there. There's a whole bunch of these energy plays, CEI, that have been running. So Jay, this is that absolutely. It sure looks and feels like that. This is why I'm not holding these stocks for very long. This is also why I'm certainly not holding those overnight, right? I mean, if you take a look at, like, what was it, a couple of days ago, right? So Husa closed at about 241. If you held it overnight, it gapped to 5, and then it went to 13. Today it went to 17. It's just, you don't know if one of these is in fact the blow off top. If you wake up and all of a sudden you're looking at a huge loss, I don't want to expose myself to that. I will trade the movement intraday because that gives me an opportunity to get in and out. But you're right. It sure looks like there's going to be, sure looks like this is producing that blow off top that you're talking about.
Okay, 29.95 is looking like it wants to come on up here on X. It just did kind of a bullish engulfing look. I'm going to look for it to get through that 95 first. A little part of me wants to add here, but again, it'd be early to it instead of waiting for the breakout to add. I'm looking for the breakout to add because what happens a lot of times, and let me put X because I have CEI on that bottom one. So right there, you see how that bullish engulfing candle gives us that bullish look. Now you're looking for what? You're looking for it to take out the recent high. And so the recent high, you see it right there, 29.93, that wick. That's what I'm looking for it to take it out to really give me confirmation. Even though it gives me a good bullish look here, I could be early. And let's say if I didn't have a first entry, maybe I could take the first entry off this candle's low, which is off 29.69 here. And I'm looking for the extension through the resistance. Once it gets through that 29.93, then we can add. What you seeing, my friend?
Trade for me on ISUN. I think I lost about maybe 100 something on TradeStation. And I think I lost. Whoop, let me go ahead and flatten this shit out. Hang on. Whew.
It just fell out of bed, it looks like there. What happened?
It sure did. I don't know what happened. Mitch made a call.
Well, what happened is it's 10:48, right? Are we getting Biden to come on here?
Well, it was just a break of support at 650, and then obviously everybody else's stop losses there, and you just get a knife through it. But god damn.
All right, well, I do want to take a second
right?
before we get a little bit, off track here. Want to give a shout out to all the women in the world. This is, of course, Women's Day. We got to give a shout out there. A lot of people are out there celebrating International Women's Day. So, hey, ladies that are in our chat, we need more of you guys in the financial world. You guys control emotions. A lot. I'll say a lot better than I. I definitely think that trading, and especially day trading, a lot of you're seeing out there is women stepping on up into this industry. And I think you're going to continue seeing them stepping on up because of what emotional control. I think they just have it a little bit higher than us. I don't know what you guys, Zunaid or Ryan, think, but I definitely do think that they have an ability that we sometimes don't. So shout out to you, and hope you guys are enjoying the stream.
Happy International Women's Day. I'm glad we can still call it that. I'm worried that you just assumed so many people's gender that now we're going to get complaints, but we'll see.
Hey, I gotta give a shout out there to it. There's one thing that I love is giving a shout out to especially people that are working hard, man.
I'll be honest, especially over like recently when there's been a lot of market volatility. I follow a very, very diverse group of traders, men, women, all nationalities, doesn't matter. They don't have to work at CNBC or Bloomberg or anything like that. And I'm telling you, what you just said about women controlling their emotions better, I know this is just anecdotal, but from what I've seen, that's spot on. That is spot on. In fact, there are a couple of follows that I have that I really, really appreciate. And I find out that I appreciate them the most when things are crazy, when things are volatile. And it's because they're thinking and acting and talking rationally. They're not letting those emotions come in and change around a trade plan. They're not compounding mistakes. They're offering quite a bit of knowledge at a very, very measured pace. And it's been very, very beneficial to me, especially going through these volatile times. So I completely agree, Mitch. Happy International Women's Day. We absolutely need more in finance. There's no reason why anyone can't do this. You can absolutely.
Yeah. And for that being mentioned, I'll give a shout out to anybody out there that's willing to kind of get into financial content. We are always looking for more and skilled traders out there, whether that be women or men. But definitely, you guys out there, if you guys are interested in joining us and what we do here, one thing that we're going to continue doing is growing Benzinga TV right here, guys. So if you guys want to join, definitely shout out to us. We have internships, full-time jobs, part-time jobs, or maybe you just want to help and be a part of a great community. Reach on out. We'll definitely get you on.
We're changing some things here. So if you want to be part of that community, absolutely. Jonathan is saying 100% true. My girlfriend had Tesla from sub 100s.
Yeah,
if
let's
I
just
had
say
a stock
Jonathan
that was sub 100s and the stock was above $1,000, I would not be able to hold. So real props to your girlfriend. That is absolutely amazing. And then East saying, thanks, guys. I'm always quiet on here. I appreciate you guys. That's totally fine. If you want to come on here and lurk and learn the process, totally fine. Participation is optional. Just know that you're always welcome, and we are appreciative of everyone, whether they post or not.
Exactly. Let's go. Let's get to it. We'll see what happens with that speech. I think you're going to see a lot of movement out here, so just be careful. Let's take a look at the SPY. What's going on with the SPY? You're getting some sideways action. Could come back towards VWAP and take out 419 on the upside. That's what I'd point to if you are looking for upside moves, right? So let's say Biden starts speaking, and all of a sudden you see a big candle get on up here towards the 420s. That's the reason that I would be looking for, okay, maybe we can get a push and you can look for some longs. What are the short side outtakes? That would be a move back down towards the low of the day where you see what? 1, 2, 3 touches down there by that 415.76 or below. Look to see a move down towards 415 if we're going to get continued down action. We'll see what happens here. Setting a stop in X here at 56 here. If it does get towards that 56, I do want to get on out. I have a feeling we're going to get a fast move in steel here, probably based on the speech. So I'm going to be really careful with it. Not going to put extreme risk on the downside and give myself the shot to the upside. Let's go back to CEI. Looks like we're back at VWAP right now. Trying to get, essentially you're right off the VWAP. You're looking like you're holding down towards this 164. To me, 160s is what gets me out on CEI. I set myself up for a big trade. If I do got to break even on this, break even's not a bad trade, guys, especially when you pay no commissions. So we're going to see this try to get back on up and get through that 180s to the 190s. We'll see what happens here. CEI and these trades.
Yeah, I'll go ahead before I hop out to give my quick steps before Squawk. If you want, you can go ahead and share my screen.
There you are, my friend.
There you go. Look at that. I told you guys I took a loss on TradeStation, which is obviously live. There's an ugly loss on the T-Trade or TD Ameritrade side as well. That knife just completely killed me, and obviously I still have a stop because it was so brutal that not all my shares were stopped out. So I just went ahead and said, hey, below 6, go ahead and get out. So even us, we don't always make money. I think I'm going to, Ryan, just stick to options on the large caps because
that's where you're good at.
This is ugly.
That's what you're good at, though. One of the things that I say that you do really well, Zunaid, is dealing with when you're dealing with those higher price ones, right? It's a higher price option also. It's not like you're not putting in more money into those trades than you were probably in these. And so I think that, you just always look back and see what you do great at and try to stick to those areas. And one thing that I've seen Zunaid, and I think we've all seen him do well in, is tech, big cap tech. At least that's what I've seen his strength from my trading and watching him. So at least I would give that shout out. Definitely. I think that's your strength, man.
I think this week might be the last week I use Live Trader. Ryan, I will leave it up to you, my man, because this life is not for me.
So one of the things that happened here, I'm judging. I didn't actually see it play out, but just based on looking at the chart, it looked like what happened here is it really got one of those pulls, right? It was massive pullback, and it happened fast. Yeah. This is exactly why I will often flip for just 10 cents, 10 cents, because that pull is coming. And if you look at any chart that you pull up, it's not just going to be Sun. If you pull up any chart, you're going to see pushes up, pulls back, pushes up, pull. You're going to see a lot of that back and forth. That back and forth can make for ugliness. Yeah. So whatever you can do to minimize that downside is going to end up showing up on the bottom line as you add some of these successful trades together. Zunaid, don't worry, man. We're going to get you back. We're going to figure this out. And to Mitch's point about the shout out about the larger cap tech options, you do those YOLOs better than anyone else I know.
No, appreciate you. And I also got a little greedy. I was in the profit, but I was hoping for the 740 breakout. But again, just wanted to show the viewers, hey, we actually do live trade exactly what we said. You've all seen all of us share our screens and positions and things like that. And today on the equity side, not a good day. Thankfully, we had OXY and Qualcomm, which I still have positions. You can see all my positions right here. Still hanging on to SEE. I'm pretty sure SEE is going to break out by the time I'm a grandfather. So hopefully we'll make some money on that trade. But I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Hey, like always, man, we'll definitely have you on back and enjoy your day and go take a little walk, man.
We're going to take a walk.
Just a little walk.
I'm going to take my vitamins, maybe an extra dose, but I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Later, my friend. All right, we're going to start wrapping on up here. We'll see what happens with that Biden speech. Let me know if you guys see him live, because I mean, I've been bouncing back and forth, but looking at trading also. We'll see what happens. Just to give some insight still in that X and CEI, we'll see what goes on in those. Ryan, what else are you going to be looking for maybe towards the end of the week? What are you looking at least catalyst-wise, going in, moving forward?
We've talked about them, right? We've talked about them. I want to see how energy has really been the sector that's performed well this year. I'm obviously going to be watching a lot of the different energy names. I too want to see what happens with the speech here. Maybe there will be some hints to new infrastructure spending. Maybe there's going to be a talk about, how America can actually create some of its own energy. So I want to watch all of those. And then, as always, I'm going to continue to watch the broader market and the VIX. That relationship is going to show me whether I'm going to be looking to be risk on or risk off throughout the rest of the week here. So.
Yes, definitely. We'll be looking at some of those large cap options. I'm sure Zunaid will be looking at them moving forward. And sometimes you just got to test yourself in different areas. Always limit the risk when you're testing, I think, is important, because that's how you learn if you can trade certain strategies or dip your toes into different areas. And this is one thing that I keep going through. One of the things that I like to do is trade with different sectors and industries. And with that, you have to learn how they react, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that is harder and takes time and experience. There's a reason why still to this day, I don't go crazy with sizing, even though I'm profitable. Why? Because I'm still learning. And I think this is something that everybody has to understand, that it takes years and years and years to really understand the market, especially if you're looking at it the way I'm doing it, different sectors and industries, and understanding how those stocks respond. It's going to take some time. So realize that this game is not just a 3-week type of game, guys. It's actually, it doesn't end. The learning doesn't end in this game, regardless if you're 50 years in this business or 10 years in this business. So keep coming at it. You guys that are pro members, if you guys haven't done so before, I definitely suggest the happy hour. I know it goes on a lot of sometimes even while I'm live, but why I would suggest that? Serious traders in a community, and that's what we're doing here. Building more community of serious traders. So join Ryan on that happy hour, and that starts at 4, right? Is it every day?
Market closes. As soon as the market closes, when everything's fresh, Monday through Thursday. If you're a pro member, jump on. You'll always see the notification in the bottom left-hand corner of pro. And if you're not a pro member, what are you waiting for? At minimum, give it a trial. It doesn't require a credit card. It's not going to cost you a dime, and it'll help make sense of all of the crazy stuff that's going along. One more thing before I head out here, just to your point about being a lifelong learner, that's really important, because the market is always going to change. You're not going to get one type of environment for indefinitely. It's gonna change. You are going to have to change with it, or you are going to end up taking pain. It took me 2 years to become consistently profitable. 2 years. Think about that. Before I could actually trade on a regular basis and become profitable. And I started accounts of varying sizes. I blew up my first 2 accounts, one with 500, the other one with 2,000. Lost it all. So the key is going to be how you actually get back from the bad days. I'm not even worried about Zunaid, because I've seen Zunaid absolutely destroy it on his good days. How you balance those good and bad days is going to determine how you finish in the long run. So I've been looking at losses just like that before and wondering, oh my God, what am I going to do? Sun comes up tomorrow, folks. Practice, identify what you did wrong, and get back at it.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I'd say for the happy hour, all you got to do is you literally open up Pro and you look on the bottom. There'll be a link right there. You don't got to go far. You'll see the link right there and join in. Sometimes I join in also. So go on in there, guys. Check it on out. And we'll see you next time, Ryan. Just added to that X trade, and we'll see what happens here. Let's see if we can get this to move. Appreciate you, Ron. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get after it. I do see a lot of people in the chat talking about also some other things, so I'm going to catch up with you guys. If you guys got a stock to call on out, throw it up there. Did see AMD being mentioned in the chat there. Let's take a look. AMD pushing on up there past the VWAP. We talked about how it was doing VWAP fades, and when it recovered VWAP there, the third time after trying to break down, that's a good look there from that 101.99. Now it's pushed up there towards 105. That's been a 3.4% move. We'll see if this can continue to make moves, but nice move there off the bounce on the VWAP there. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at some other trades. Looking at this X to see if we can get through that 30 again. We could take another ad here through the 30s and look for the extension above, but I'm just going to keep the share size here manageable and not go crazy here. So you guys can see that bottoming action here that we just got off of, which is the 74s, 29.74s. So we're moving up here towards the support here for the risk, which is 29.73. Let's let this take on out and just start coming up there towards the highs. We can get up to 30.50s right around there, take the first profit, then look for the extension above. We'll see if we get this moving. Of course, CEI is another one we're keeping on watch. Let's see what happens there. Shout out to Ryan and, of course, Buddy. Got to have Buddy in the house. We'll see what happens on CEI. Just going sideways here. If for some reason we do break to, let's say, 162, I'm going to go ahead and set my stop there to get me out at 160, just to kind of point that out there. I know we could get the bid on there. I'm just watching it. I just don't want to get caught on here while I'm watching X. So I'm in the green here, but not much. I mean, I take very small amounts here, looking for it to get on up there through the 180s. All right, what's going on out there? I see an XOM being called out. That's one we've gone through it. NVIDIA spiking too. Let's take a look at that. All right, NVIDIA up there to 216s. Also did kind of a view out bounce trade. We'll see if this can continue making moves. It's gone straight up in the last like 10, 15 minutes. So we'll see if it makes a pullback. 15-minute pullback, I would say, towards 212.90s. But we'll see what happens here if it can take out 219 on the upside. Other one being mentioned, let's go to Sun W. Solar stocks today. This one looks actually good there off the support VWAP bounce type of trade for it to get back on up there. Another thing that you have is a nice bottoming action there, recovery of VWAP. I do like this pullback. Let's say if you get 445s going up to 5, doesn't look bad there. Solar was one of the areas I say to watch today, 10% up in the industry. So I hope somebody caught that solar, some of the solar moves. I mean, all of them up on the day, guys. Sun W up 46%, Max N 20%. This is one that I gave through that 1184, had that mark. Missed this one by 2 cents, guys. 2 cents. I missed that 20% winner today in Max N, but at least I called out the stock pre-market for you guys. I hope you guys were able to catch the move in solar. SOL, another one that I gave through 656, was looking for that push towards 750s. Looks like it could still keep going through 7. We'll see if that one continues to make moves. SPWR straight up out the gates. Beam straight out the gates. SPI looking like it wants to come back through 4. Take a look at that one. It is going sideways right now. ENPH strong also. And overall, I mean, look at the solar day 2 move. Not looking bad. Definitely a good rise on up there in solar. And the strongest industry, of course, in these techs. So that's what I wanted to look at. And you guys realize why I wanted to do it. It was because of that EU talk. But did Biden come on yet? Anybody let me know if Biden's on. Mitch was way ahead of the moves. No, I mean, this is the truth, guys, is that I don't know if I'm going to be right or wrong. All I can do is kind of look out, like, what could I potentially see today? So solar made a nice bounce. EU potentially coming out with renewable energy talk. Whole bunch of talk about oil, getting away from Russia. Essentially, we really need to get away from oil overall. That's why I was looking at the solar plays. I thought the mindsets would go there. And that's why I look at these. I don't know if they're going to make moves, but then we look at what? That's kind of the story aspect. Then you can look at the fundamentals. You can look at the fundamentals and see which are the leaders in the industry. Leaders like ENPH, Max N, Sun W. These are stocks that are leaders in this industry. If you look at it, you can do also by capitalization. You could look at some of the leaders, like let's say SEDG. You can look at that one. ENPH is the leader there, but you could also look at First Solar. And what you want to do is you want to see some good fundamental outlook. Maybe there's some good rating outlooks, and that's going to go ahead and confirm there. Then you look at the technicals. Do the technicals match? And everything kind of aligned themselves for a good trade today in solar. Never know when we're going to be right, but the only thing we can do is, for me, I speculate. That's what I do, guys. I speculate, and that's all I do a lot of the times. I'm speculating what rotation is coming, where the story could be going, and what could be moving next. Not necessarily even today. And that's why I've been looking at industrial plays. Let's take a look at CAT, how we're performing today. Looks like X is really trying to get on through there, but CAT is one that I've been calling on out in the industrial sector because I think this is going to be a big lift. And look at DE coming back after yesterday's pullback. I really do like these names. So if you're taking a look and you're looking for a longer term play, 6-month outlook, 3-month outlook, these are the ones that I'd call out. I called them out at the beginning of the month, and that was all the way down here. Beginning of the month, we were down here at the support near that 185. That's where I was calling the monthly move. And look at this monthly chart. Beautiful chart there in CAT, and starting to move on what? Sideways monthly action. I'd look for a move above 221, and then the next level from there is a breakout above 240 on Caterpillar. But this is how I look at things going into the future and how I can be like, okay, so we'll see what happens there. And yes, I would agree, Christian. Biden is never on time. I don't understand this, why they put out a time and he's never on time. But I can tell you right now, I used to be like, oh, maybe it's just these guys that are maybe Trump supporters that don't like Biden. And no, he's late every time. I don't like that either. Why give us a time if you're going to be late? But let's keep moving. CEI moving. Yeah, I saw that. Let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can really push towards the 180s. Let's go and see what happens. CEI starting to push back above the VWAP. I do like this trade. Going to stay in it. We'll see what happens. I did like the 15-minute outlook. If you look at that time frame, we've held the flag pattern, and I'm looking for it to come back up through the 180s, get through that, then up there, 190s, $2 outlook. Let's see what happens there. X, is it going to give it to me? Let's see what happens. X going to give it to me. It's going to give it to me. Oh, we'll see what happens, guys. 11:09 here, keeping the trading action going, keeping the energy up today. I tried my best to bring the energy. Yesterday, I was a little sleeping, but today I'm awake, guys. Looks like we got 317 likes. We need to get to 400, guys. We got over 517 people watching right now. If not, I got to end the stream. I don't want to do that, guys. Do me the favor, guys. Smash up that like button. Support the stream. Let's keep it going here, and let's see what happens. Biden late, so we're on time. Yeah, you know how it goes. All right, we'll see what happens out there. WWR starting to. Now, also, I'll take a look at that one. WWR. All right, that's an interesting one there. West Water Resources. Yes, a water play. I love it, man. I love it. Might actually look at this for a swing trade. Really like that trade right there, man. Good call out. Like that setup here. So like that 1 up, 2 up, 3 up, hold support, look for a breakout through that. Has to hold VWAP now for me. 224, I would look for a nice push. And what I do, I measure the flag for a potential outlook. So what do we got here? 31 cents from 30 cents from that 230. So a move towards, let's say, 260s potentially. I like that outlook there. WWR. There's X gonna give it to me. X is starting to go there, guys. Now up there towards 324s. We're going to look for a push into the 340s and take some profit. Then let the rest of that run. We'll see if this can continue making moves. Had to get some energy advisor from Hunter. Jay, you're too loose, man. Let's keep going. We'll see what happens. Is graphite? Oh, I thought it said water. Thought it was a water play. West Water Resource. And then it doesn't do water. Come on, man. That's called a trick name if I've ever seen one. Let's look at my CWCO. Was looking at this one for a water play. This is a CWCO. Looks like no pullback action in that one. We'll see if that one can continue making moves. Another one, AWK. These are actually water plays. So I'm looking at them to see what happens in these. This one's pulling back today. We'll see if it can hold the low of that Friday move, which is 154.94. All right, HYLN. I don't even know if I should give out the HYLN. I got some news on that one, but I'm going to hold it towards Money Mitch later today. If you guys want to find out that, come towards Money Mitch. I'll let you guys know what's happening there. I don't have a position, just full disclosure. All right, let's see what's going on out there. Seeing a lot of messaging. Let me see. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what's going on out there. Seeing X still working. All right. Is Biden out yet? I'm trying to pay attention to so many things right here. VWTR is another water play, Bill says. I'll take a look at that one. Thank you for pulling it out there. Let's take a look there. VWTR. Okay. Let's take a look here. Weekly chart. Yeah, I think this is going more off of a weekly. Did give you that pullback there. Look, let's see if we can hold this pullback and then get back on up there. So you see how you can pull back right now. See if that 1184 holds. It could even tick there. 1175. What you want to see is a close above that and then come back tomorrow to take out that 13. We'll see if it comes and takes that out. All right, MNMD. You guys are trying to do some psychedelics. We'll see what happens on that one. That's at 98 cents. I would kind of avoid that right now, but hey, to each his own. CEI up there in the 170s. Can we get through the 176 area and then get up there towards the 180s? Been looking for that one to push through there. Hasn't gotten through that level yet. We'll see if we can get on through here right now and then spike on through. Biden on, says Samuel. All right, there you guys have it. Biden coming on there. Let me know in the chat if you guys want me to put up Biden for a little bit. I could put him up, but I think I'm just going to put on some music. That's what I want to do, but it's up to you guys. You guys run the stream here, not me. All right, let's keep it going. See what we got out there in the chat being mentioned. IMPP music, says Bill. All right, let's keep going. Other stocks being mentioned. FCL. FCL still looking good. Yeah, that's not a bad one to take a look at. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, FCL up there to 634. Not looking too bad. Bouncing off the bottom there. Alternative kind of energy stock there also. I take a look there at the plug. How's the plug power doing? Also coming back there on the daily. Big resistance above it towards the 26. We'll see what happens on these names, but I'd keep these on watch. You can see the volume has increased significantly over the last, let's say, 13 days. So the last 2 weeks, people are watching plug and FCL. You need to see those resistance really start popping through there to kind of find which one's leading. So to me, I think FCL is going to lead the drive and plug would follow. So I'd be looking at these for a lead type of move in FCL and then a laggard type of trade in plug. There's X trying to push and get through that 325 area, looking to go ahead and take some profit into the 30-40s. So let's see if this one can continue making moves. This would be a good push there if we get towards the 40. Watching right now to see the volume, looking to see if it can get a pop into the 30s and then right close towards that 40 immediately. Let's see if we get that lift. Of course, Biden being on right now could change a bunch of stocks, so you guys got to be careful out there. Want people to be careful. Always risk manage, guys. 9 resume, says Jim. I'll definitely take a look. Love some Led Zepp, maybe some Dazed and Confused for the speech. Yeah, I wouldn't be bad on that. You know what? I'm going to go to some different type of music here. It might be a little bit louder, but hey, I'm not stressing a little bit louder. What is going on? I'm getting some freezing action. All right. Oh, there you go. That's what it is. I don't need no update on my stream deck. What is going on here? Sorry, guys. My computer's freezing up on me a little bit here. I'll go to 9 here. Trying to make sure that my computer isn't going to freeze up on me here. Nine, yeah, opening up there at 760s. We'll see if this one can continue moving. But man, this one was really good after the pre-market. I didn't think it was going to come back up here towards these areas, but definitely a halting. I think this stock has already halted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times here. Crazy stock here, 9. All right, let me see if I can get this going here. Why can't... All right, well, having some computer issues, so not gonna probably just ignore that. It's like no music, even though I want to. There it goes. Now it wants to work. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the other one. Mind my language, but too much confusion for me today. I'm just gonna go ahead and ease my mind here. I'm gonna put on my favorite Jimi Hendrix song here, guys. I'm gonna put on my favorite Jimi Hendrix song here. This is "Who Knows" by Jimi Hendrix. If you guys don't know this one, this was on kind of his last album here. But let me see if I can control it here. It should be controlled by this. Hold on. Ba-ba-da-da-da. All right, let me know if you guys can hear that or if it gets too loud here for us in the stream. Let's go. There's a reason why my cat is named Hendrix. Let's just be honest. Let's go, X. Don't know. Can we get to the 40s, man? All right. They don't know like I know. Do you know? I don't know. Let's go, CEI. Get up there to that 180. Let's just say I seen it, my friend. Have you seen her? Ba-na-na-na-na. Ready to take some profits here in X here. Let's go. Let's get it on up there. It's taking a little while to get on up here. Longer it takes, I get a little inside feeling, a ticking time bomb there. So we'll see what happens here. Love to try to play Jimmy so hard to keep his groove. Yeah, man had a vibe. Let's just say that. Biden's still not on, Michelle? I thought he was already on. That's crazy. Self, we're taking a look at that trade. I'll put it up here. Let me put it on the multiple charts here. Let's do 3. Look at gold. Gold looking good for a VWAP bounce type of trade. AGI was the one I gave earlier today. Gold trade that went up there 5% right out the gates there before the market open. Was looking at that AGI. Also talked about that on money Mitch. Self was another one we were looking at. We take a look at that off the VWAP. Was looking good here for a move back towards. I was looking for a push towards 340s and maximum move towards 360s. Look at that one. Push on up there. Good move there. CLP. I know someone nailed that one. And whoever did, hey, power to you. Not a bad trade there. Yeah, Born, you might just have to do that to be on his rise. But hey, not all of us can do it. Time to take some profit. Boom! Just took it there in X. Boom, baby. 340s, not bad there. Great day there. Getting us back into the green on the day. And now we're looking for a push above the 370s. Can we get to the 31s? Let's see this continue pushing. Let's put that CEI. I'm looking for that push towards 180 so I can sell on out there and take the rest of its shares to see if we can get through $2. But I want to sell some of it at that 180 mark and then look for it to keep going. We'll see what happens there. CEI just got a big amount of volume to come into it. We'll see if it starts pushing here. They don't know what I know. Who knows, guys? Who knows? Anyone trading CVX? Michelle asking. If you guys have that look, definitely take a look at that. I'll take a look at it on the chart for you here. Let's push off X. I'm looking for CEI to get towards that 180 so I can take some profit in that one. I'll put off the SPY. The SPY is coming on down there, guys. 415. Remember, I talked about that's the danger zone. 419s was the area that I talked about potentially for us to get green in the Biden speech. It looks like we're coming on down, even though he hasn't started talking. So just be careful out there. We'll see what happens right now off these levels, and we'll see when he finally comes on. What's the solar ETF? That's TAN. That's TAN. This is doing well today also. If you like ETFs, TAN is the one. TAN. There you go, Aaron. Got you. All right, let's keep going. What other ones being mentioned in the chat? I was talking about CVX. Let's go. Chevron Group pushing on up there. Has already done one move. One move, pullback, second move, pullback, third move. I wouldn't expect to see too much more extension if you're looking more on the daily outlook. But man, what a freaking rip this had. Chevron has made a 24% move there, and an oil stock, that's a pretty significant move on up. Barely any pullbacks, higher and higher lows, higher and higher lows. The only time it kind of tapped up was today. 152.72s, 155.90. So yeah, still holding well, higher and higher lows. That's a good pattern to keep holding. All right, CEI, did we get up there? Yeah, there we go. We're getting run up there. Let's go ahead. Let's get this. Sell part of it there. 200 right there. Got it out there. 180s. Let's look for the continuation. Now we've taken some profit. Now we can just let this trade work. Let's see if we get back there through the $2. From 160s to 180s there. Now we're looking to hold on VWAP 169. Anything below that is going to get us out. We're going to set a stop and let this trade work. X pulling back a little bit there. We'll see if it takes out the 30.55s again. But we've already taken some profit in that one. We'll see if it takes out the next levels. Got you, Jay. Sorry about that. If you got a little annoyed there. I normally don't go with the Hendrix, but I know it's a little too much for this time. But hey, I was feeling some Hendrix today. Biden walking in, says Jay. All right, there you go. I'll lower it down because we're going to need to focus here. Biden's walking in. Let's see what happens. We got about 5 minutes left, and I'll get you guys over to Benzinga Live. You guys can catch that action. You got Spencer, Israel, also AB on there. So let's pay attention here what we get right out the gates because it's going to be a fast-moving action here. Setting the stop there on that CEI at that 67 spot there. So we'll see what happens on that. X still trying to work, so I'll see if I can get that breakout here during the speech. And if not, I'll just take it out. Ba-na-na-na. Biden finally on. Let's go. TLRY triangle. Not really stock that I really like at right now. You ever listen to the Grateful Dead? Yeah, I like them too, Chris. I listen to a lot of old school music, new school music. I mean, music is what I did a lot in my kind of youth time, just listening to music in the garages and jamming on out. All right, let's see if we can get this continued push in the 30, 40s here. Let's take a look at the SPY here. What's happening? We're looking like we're pushing down there, coming down there towards the 416. Let's see what takes on off here and if we can get any change in some trends. Shakedown Street. I'm down for that one. I'll jam out a little bit later, Zen. 9 nice, says East. Hey, check it on out. 9 is not a bad stock today. I mean, it definitely has been a crazy mover today. We'll see what happens on that one. Man, look how this one just went all the way up there towards the 770s, then comes all the way back from 770s to 670s. Be careful with the volatility in 9, guys. I'll definitely tell you guys, be careful in that. Not saying that you can't make money. Just be careful. Never mind dropping now. Yeah, exactly. You got to be careful with those. You got to understand your risk and what I call ultimate risk. If you've seen the stock make 30, 40 cent moves, and you're talking about a stock that's like about $6, you're talking about 8% moves in one candle in a couple seconds. Understand that. 8% of my money can be gone in less than a minute. I need to understand that. If I can understand that, I can trade stocks like this. If I can't, then you got to be careful. That's how you blow up accounts. All right, we'll see what happens now. I know that a lot of people are paying attention to Biden, so I'm going to get us over towards Benzinga Live. That's going to be starting in about 2 minutes. Like always, guys, you guys can catch me on Money Mitch today. Yesterday, I think we had an awesome show. I'm going to go ahead and review all the stocks that we went over yesterday on Money Mitch and see how many were in the green, how many in the red. I'll tell you one thing. I think a lot of them were in the green. So stick around. Catch us on Money Mitch. That's at 4:30 today, right after Cannabis Insiders. So if you want some cannabis action, I saw TLRY being mentioned in the chat. Check out that show, Cannabis Insiders. Definitely would tell you to check that out. That's at 4 p.m. today. And of course, I'll be in the background on at the close. So if you guys want to catch us on there, you guys can do so. That's where we review the stock market and how it did today. I'll see you guys like always. Keep smashing that like. Hope you guys enjoyed the energy today. And definitely, if you can do me the favor by hitting that like button before you get on out of here, I will appreciate that as we continue to grow here. And we're going to keep moving, guys. One thing I've seen is that this community is growing. We're getting new traders to join us every single day. So if you guys have some traders out there that are looking for a serious chat room that's working on improvement, let them know. Benzinga is that place. I'll see you guys next time. Like always, 11:30 coming on up here. Boom. Go see Spencer. Go see AB. Let them know where's the YOLO of the day. We'll see what happens like that. And Mitch, when you're on your own show all day, hey, maybe someday. Hope so, man. That's the goals, right? Who knows? Maybe I take Framer's spot. Can't be mad about that one. I'll keep pushing and keep trying to learn and keep bringing to you guys what I learned in the markets. Let's keep pushing and see what happens out there. Until next time, hit that like button, and I'll see you tomorrow on Live Trading with Benzinga.